Hi, everyone. Welcome to Hallmark Movie Drafts, where today we are doing our first ever mega draft. This means that instead of the usual 3 guest panelists, today there will be 4 who will work with and against one another to create the singular definitive list of the 15 best, not 10 best, Hallmark movies starring Lacey Chabert. All 4 panelists are Hallmark movie enthusiasts and deck the Hallmark podcast double-deckers who love to rate, rank, and debate all things Hallmark movies related. And they're all Lacey Chabert super fans. Plus, they're all returning drafters who are super competitive, and almost every single player today is coming in with some leftover vetoes in their pocket. So anything can happen. I'm Lynn, your host, and with me is my co-host, Erinbeth. And joining us today as its special guest host is a Lacey superfan, even though he's not necessarily a Hallmark movie fan. We all know and love him as the host of Christmas Morning Podcast. It's Scott Newman, AKA TV Scotty. Yay!
Thank you, Lynn. I appreciate it. And thank you, Erinbeth. I'm excited to be here. What I don't have in skill, I will make up for in enthusiasm, okay?
I know. Brand told me that you are absolutely a Lacey super fan, and it was actually so wonderful for us to meet you last week in person at Bramblefest. What a whirlwind! Have you recovered?
Oh, I have. It was a lot of yelling, but not in a bad way, just because things were very loud and my voice was absolute trash by the time I got home. I did a Christmas morning episode this week and 2 people wrote in and said, how about some lozenges, dude? So it's starting to come back slowly. So I'm going to be careful and even in my speaking today, okay?
Yes, you've got almost the NPR voice happening, which I can do as well. But
yes, today's episode is brought to you by throat lozenges.
Yes, by the letter L for Lacey.
That's right.
So speaking of Lacey, when did you first become a Lacey fan, Scott? Was it through Party of 5, All My Children, Mean
None
Girls?
of
Because
those.
you're not really a Hallmark guy.
No, I have. You're drafting 15 movies today. I don't think I've seen 15 Hallmark movies all the way through. I am a fan of my wife, and my wife likes the shows and the movies. So when she's watching, occasionally I will sit in. But usually I treat it like what Alonzo calls wallpaper. It's just on in the background and I have it on mute, and I really enjoy, I don't know, Christmas scenery. How about that? So I really enjoy being able to duck in the room and see something very festive on television. And if the movie has Lacey in it, I like her. I like her as an actress. She's also just adorable and beautiful. So yeah, I'll try to dip in. If I were going to watch any Hallmark actress in a movie, it would be Lacey. Does that sound enough like a super fan for me to have admission today?
It does. And I think it starts to make up a little bit for when you actually did a review with the guys last year.
Here we go.
Lacey's movie, Haul Out the Holly. Guys, if you could see all the faces on the screen with our drafters, we're all giving him the stink eye because he was not thrilled with this. And guess what, Scotty? They're doing a sequel.
I heard that. I have already registered with Brand that I would like to attend. And I do want to set the record clear because a few people have said to me about, oh, I don't like HOAs. No, that's not true. I actually like my HOA fine. I choose to live in a community that has that. I just didn't like the premise of the movie. It was really, really stupid. No HOA would force somebody to decorate. In fact, it would probably be the opposite. So I liked the movie. And when I found out the movie was tongue-in-cheek, which went right over my head, I started to appreciate it more. I've watched it a second time. I would watch it again if it were on. So I hope that sets the record clear. Yeah, the plot was dumb, but the movie was good.
The plot was dumb, but the movie was good. Now you sound like Lady Panda. Okay, so
good.
you sit back, Lady Panda TV Scotty person. And Erinbeth, it was so awesome. You and I talk every single day throughout the day. It was so awesome to connect with you in person at Bramblefest and to meet up with all the double deckers. Have you recovered from the event?
Well, I did find that 2 a.m. bedtimes with 6 a.m. wake ups, I'm not 20 anymore. But I wouldn't trade a single minute. Like it was like summer camp. It was so much fun. So
yeah, There was a lot of shenanigans. We got to hang out with everybody. It was just a whirlwind for a couple of days. So
much fun. So much fun.
yeah.
Did you find yourself completely exhausted by the time it was over, though? Because you and I are about the same age, I think.
Yeah. I did not actually get home until 3 a.m. on Wednesday morning. So yeah, that was a rough one, but I mean, I'm like, sign me up, going back next year.
Yep.
Absolutely. Set the date. Let's go. Let's go already. Okay. So let's start shifting into game mode by introducing our panelists, all of whom have had several months to put together their own personal top 15 list of Lacey's Hallmark movies out of the 32 that are eligible for this draft. They've ranked them 15th best to their number one favorite, and they're going to battle it out to get as many of their own personal favorites as possible onto the final definitive list, ideally in the position that they have them ranked in their personal list. So first up is Emily P, aka Mrs. Walker. She too is fresh off the plane from Bramblefest. Emily, you've actually met Lacey in person, right? At one of the fan cons?
Yeah,
What's
sure
she
have.
like?
I met her at Christmas Con last year, and she is a peach. I love her to pieces. She is the sweetest person I've ever met on the female side. As a hall star, she is adorable. Like, she took the time, even though her line was moving, she took the time to at least have a conversation with each and single one of us. She even, and I have to do this now, or if I'm going to forget, my uncle is a big Lacey fan, and I explained to her that I would like her to sign a photo for him, and she did, and she loved it. And she was so thrilled. This is my uncle who's like 52 years old. So
Hey, that's not that far from where I am. So be careful.
But she absolute gem of a person. And I hope everyone has a chance to meet her at one time in their life, because she's fantastic.
Wow.
What's your uncle's name?
My uncle's name?
Yeah.
His name is Dean. All
right, Dean, you and I, come on. We're starting up the group. Husbands for Lacey, HFL.
Not bad, not bad. Our second panelist is Kathryn, or Kate. Kate, when did you become a Lacey fan? You know, she got her start in TV commercials. She was young Cosette in Les Mis. You know, she sings, she acts, she does everything. She was in Party of Five. When did you become a fan of Lacey's?
I think I just feel like I've always been vaguely aware of her. Like, I was a little young for the Party of Five thing, but I did watch it later, back when Netflix had Netflix discs. I rented the entire series at some point. But I think what really got me like as a big Lacey fan is Mean Girls, because that was like perfect timing for me. That was right after I graduated high school. That movie was just the best thing to ever happen in 2004. So that got me on with Lacey, and then, you know, Hallmark took over, and I'm just glad to see her there every year.
You did some really great Photoshop mock-ups for at Hallmark Movie Drafts Instagram that are hilarious, using some stills from Mean Girls that are just so funny and getting a really good response.
That was fun. And I think I won't go into each of the details, but all of us were talking in the chat about which characters of Party of Five we wanted to be. So Emily got stuck with a little kid, but it looks so good.
But it's such a great image, though, that really works. And Scott, you're actually in one too for the Mean Girls posters.
Oh, good.
Really good. Yeah. So next up is Shannon W. Shannon, what is it about Lacey's Hallmark movies that you like?
Oh my goodness. Okay. A lot of people I've noticed in a lot of groups and comments, they all talk about how her little giggle drives them nuts. I think it is absolutely adorable. I think Lacey is adorable. I mean, and she can go from, you know, when Lacey cries, I cry. I'm like, I don't want her to be sad, no matter what part she's in. When that lip goes and those eyes are all glossed over, I'm a mess. So I just think she is the queen of Christmas. She's the queen of Hallmark as far as I'm concerned. I just think she's wonderful.
She seems very authentic and like you could just sit down and be one of your girlfriends over wine or coffee or something.
True,
Very, very
absolutely.
genuine.
I know
Very
this. I know the
genuine.
little giggle that you're talking about, and that is endearing.
I
It's
agree.
It's like when Jax is on deck to Hallmark and she snorts because something was really
Yes.
funny to her. Same thing.
Yes.
Exactly, exactly. And finally, our fourth panelist is Mary. Mary, you are the host from the Couch podcast, which is all things pop culture, and I love your Hooked on Holidays website as well. In last year's Christmas movie draft, you famously declared that you are an Enneagram 9, was it? Fueled by rage?
I'm a 1.
You're a 1, but fueled by rage, right?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. So speaking of snort laughs, I snort laughed every time I listen to that clip. You're the only player coming into this game without any extra leftover vetoes. So are you ready to unleash your Enneagram 1 to try to battle out these this arsenal that might be headed your way?
I mean, I guess I'm just coming at it with me and my own skills. I don't need any extras.
Ooh.
Wow. That is throwing down a gauntlet of
You're
other
gonna
Shots
regret
fired real
saying
early.
that.
I will, absolutely.
And should
Yeah,
we start
when
an alliance now with all of our vetoes?
Seriously. And just so you know, Scott's not going to be any help to you. He has
None.
like no veto power whatsoever. So,
Nope.
all right.
I'm useless.
Let's keep going into gameplay mode. If this is your first time listening, you might want to pause here and listen to the Hallmark Movie Drafts intro show first. It's only 4 minutes, and that's where I go over the rules in more depth. I talk about the format of the game, how vetoes work, all that great stuff. Or keep listening, and you can pick it up fairly quickly. Eligibility for this draft is very straightforward. The movies had to premiere on Hallmark or Hallmark Movie and Mysteries channel, and they must feature Lacey as the key lead. That's in the A storyline, if you will. She appears in a couple of the Wedding Veil movies where her character Emma is not the key focus. So those movies are not eligible for this draft. Only The Wedding Veil, the original one, and Wedding Veil Expectations are eligible. So this means that there are 32 eligible movies as of this recording, including the one that just premiered last month, The Dancing Detective with Will Kemp. So listeners, you can see the eligibility list on the Hallmark Movie Drafts Instagram. Let's talk about drafting positions for this match. There are 4 of them, A, B, C, and D. Here's what that looks like. Drafter D picks positions 15, 9, 8, and 4 on the list. Drafter D gets 1 veto card. Drafter C picks positions 14, 10, 7, and 3. They get 1 veto card and the veto override card. Drafter B picks positions 13, 11, 6, and 2. Drafter B gets 1 veto card. And Drafter A picks positions 12, 5, and the number 1 position on the list. They get 1 veto card and a bonus veto card. So Drafter A only gets 3 picks, but they get the number 1 movie pick, and they get basically 2 vetoes. How do we decide who gets to be Drafter A, B, C, or D? That's where Scott and Erinbeth come in. They're going to test your knowledge with a round of Lacey-related trivia questions, and the first person to answer 1 question correctly gets to choose whether they want to be Drafter A, B, C, or D. The second person to answer the next question correctly chooses theirs from the remaining three positions, and so on. Just keep in mind that if you win the trivia round, you're also the first in the veto card order in each round. You'll be the first to declare if you agree with the pick or if you're going to veto it. Keep that in mind as you play. And also keep in mind as you play that 3 of you have unused vetoes from previous matches that you can add to your vetoes here. That may influence which drafting position you pick. Kathryn has 2 leftover vetoes. Emily and Shannon both have 1 leftover veto and 1 veto override card. So as I said earlier, the only player coming into this match without any leftover extra veto power is Mary, who has already decided she doesn't need to be extra to win this game. Okay, I know it's a lot of information. I'm keeping track of everything. You guys just focus on the trivia round and your picks. And with that, let's get started. Scott and Erinbeth, let's do the trivia round.
All right, well, before we start with trivia, I do want to refresh your memories on our trivia rules. Number 1, you cannot answer until I have finished asking the question. No jumping in before I have finished speaking. Number 2, as soon as I finish asking the question, just shout out your answer. I will tell you if your answer is right or wrong. If you're wrong, you cannot guess again until the other 2 drafters has made a guess. If I have to give a hint or a clue, then it resets and you can answer even if you answered wrong right before. Is there any questions? All right, without any questions, then I'm going to pass it over to Scott for our very first trivia question.
All right. I'm prepared for this. I take direction well. Erinbeth told me that I would be doing this. Erinbeth, the one thing I will not do is any of the hinting. If there's any hinting that's needed, you can take that, okay?
I would personally love to hear the hints you would give.
Yeah.
Not very
This
good. All
happened
right.
in some movie that she was in. at
Yeah.
some
Exactly.
point with some
Yeah.
person.
I watched this with the sound off. I think I know what's happening. All right. Is everybody ready? Here we go. Out of the 32 leading roles, her character, some commas would have been helpful in this, Erinbeth,
Sorry.
but okay. Out of the 32 leading roles, her character's first name is different in almost every movie except 2 names, Emily and Emma. Can you name one of the movies where Lacey played an Emily or an Emma?
Oh, the Holly.
Yep, Emily got it with Haul Out the Holly.
All right.
The other ones, what was the name in Haul Out the Holly? Do you know the name? It was Emily.
Oh,
Which is
yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah. Emily. Yeah.
Okay, so she played Emma in Love, Romance, and Chocolate and Groundswell. And then Emily in Haul Out the Holly and A Royal Christmas. So
I think she also played at Avery twice.
She did.
She did. And I made note of this. So just for future reference, Christmas Waltz and The Wedding Veil, she was both Avery's.
Avery, very good.
You did.
Wow.
I
She
thought
did.
that was going to be a trivia question. So I wrote that down.
Great job. So Emily, you can sit back. You're going to be first in the veto order and you can start thinking about which drafting position you want. Keep going, guys.
Okay,
right.
Question number 2. In Matchmaker Santa, name one way Santa kept Lacey's character apart from her fiance.
There was
The
a
car broke down.
bear.
I'm sorry. Kathryn, I didn't hear what you said, but you were first. So what did you say?
Their car broke down.
Car broke down. Okay. Car trouble is one of them. And yes, Mary, bear was one of them, which is actually why I chose that question, because it is I think the bear is a hilarious scene in a Hallmark movie. But Kathryn, you got this one with car trouble, and now you can, make your plans A and B depending on what Emily chooses. All right, Scott, if you want to go with the next question.
All of My Heart premiered on what holiday?
Valentine's Day.
Was that Mary or Shannon? I'm sorry.
That was Mary.
Mary. All right. Mary, it was Valentine's Day, 2015. So with all of our trivia
Good
questions
job.
answered, then we can head back to Emily and Lynn for the
All right.
they're going to make.
That was great. Okay, so Emily, you won trivia. You're first up in the veto order. Which drafting position do you think you want, knowing that you are coming into the game with an extra veto and a veto override?
I am going to go drafter B, please.
Emily is going to be drafter B, so she will have positions 13, 11, 6, and 2. That comes with 1 veto. She has an extra veto that's left over, and she has a veto override card as well. I'm just making some notes because this game sheet is going to be crazy. Kathryn, you are next. Do you want to be drafter D, C, or A?
I am going to take drafter C.
Drafter C, so she will pick positions 14, 7, 10, and 3. That comes with 1 veto card, 1 veto override card, and you have 2 leftover regular vetoes from an earlier match. So you too will have basically 3 vetoes and an override card. Emily has 2 vetoes and an override card. Mary, you are next. Do you want drafter D or drafter A?
I'm gonna pick A.
Mary has chosen drafter A, which means she gets 3 picks instead of 4. She gets 12, 5, and the number 1. That comes with 1 veto and 1 bonus veto. And you don't have any extra vetoes coming into the game, but you will have
Rub it in.
I know. Don't worry. I won't keep saying that because you don't
Yes,
need
you will.
extra. No, because I don't want that number 1 unleashed on me. I've witnessed this. So. And if you haven't listened to the Christmas movie drafts from December 2022, you can witness it too. It's hilarious. Okay, Shannon, that means that you are drafter D. So you get positions, you're going to kick off the list. You get positions 15, 9, 8, and 4. That comes with 1 veto, and you have 1 veto carried over and 1 veto override card.
Perfect.
So, any questions before we get started on this? When the you guys already know that you're going to DM me your picks in the chat. I will then read the title, the year, perhaps a co-star, a quick log line from Hallmark.com or from IMDb or something I've written myself. And then we'll start with the veto order as to whether or not you want this movie to stay on or not. We can take a break after the 8th pick is locked in. We can take a break anytime you want to, so don't hesitate to speak up. Okay, so here we go. Let's get started. So Shannon, you are first up. I have Shannon's pick for the 15th that she is going to offer up. She is offering up a movie from 2018. Brendan Penny plays Luke. Lacey is Darcy. Darcy starts her own company rather than working for her father. She returns to her hometown for Christmas and reconnects with an old rival from high school who's now a tavern owner. That's Brendan Penny. Darcy's mother has them plan a charity event together. And as Darcy and Luke plan the event, Darcy tries to figure out what she wants in life. This movie is loosely based on the same titled book by Melissa De La Cruz. So Shannon, why do you like Pride, Prejudice, and Mistletoe at number 15?
All right. Well, first off, I'm going to say that I was telling the ladies before we started that I'm shocked at my list. I'm shocked at where this ended up, but here it is. Honestly, I thought Lacey and Brendan Penny together were so great to watch here. There's a lot of the movies where the 2 leads are bickering and they just don't like each other and they have this long history together and it's and then boom, all of a sudden they're in love. With this one, they were always bickering, but you could always kind of go, I think there might be something else there. And they're just so fun to watch. It's crazy implausible that they have these massive fundraising events to pull together in like a week. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. They can't do it. But then when you see the event, there's like 20 people there and it's like, oh, that's fine. But basically with this one, it was just their interactions together through the whole thing. I wanted it to go on forever. I loved it.
All right, you loved it. You told us before we started recording that you actually had a point system that you were using and that this is how your list came out. And you said, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is my list. So but you're sticking with it. So
True.
Way to commit to the point system. Emily, you are first up in the veto order. What do you think of Pride, Prejudice, and Mistletoe at number 15?
So to me, this is like a standard regular Hallmark movie with the tropes. We have the party planning. We have Brendan Penny. I don't hate this movie. I don't love it. And actually for me, it fell around the same area. So I'm gonna let Shannon have this one. I'm not gonna fight over it.
Okay, Emily's gonna let it slide. Kathryn, you're up next. What do you think about this for 15th?
Yeah, I do really like this one. And this is, so Shannon and I have drafted against each other before on the Palaha draft. And we have a very similar list, actually. So I think it's already starting out that way again. I do really like this one. Nina Weinman wrote this. She's one of my favorite Hallmark writers. Like, she finds a way to take these stupid like party planning tropes and just upgrade them with dialogue, because she's a really good writer. And there's some really great scenes with Lacey and her dad. I like the banter between Brendan Penny and Lacey in this one. Their obligatory baking scene is really sweet in this movie. And I even forgive the stupid eavesdropping misunderstanding, because the ending with the kiss under the mistletoe is perfect. So I actually have this one higher, but I'm glad it's on the list. So I'm not vetoing.
Okay, no vetoes yet. Mary, what about you?
Okay, Shannon, I am so curious to hear later about your point system, because I don't know, like, how can you be surprised by your own list? I had this movie higher. I really like it, but you know, as we have discussed a time or 12, I don't have a lot of vetoes to spare. So I say I'm glad it's on the list.
Wow, all right. Congratulations, Shannon. You have locked in your first pick, Pride, Prejudice, and Mistletoe, at number 15. So we will move on to Kathryn, who has the 14th pick. This is where I would normally ask our special guest co-host what he thinks of Pride, Prejudice, and Mistletoe. I know Scott likes mistletoe. That's about all I think he knows about this movie.
Don't worry, I have it pulled up on IMDb here, so I'm following along. I'm learning. That's what I'm here for. I've never been in such a group of enthusiasts before. This is wonderful.
This is great. You could do these lives for Christmas movies on Christmas morning podcasts right around Christmas time. People could weigh in with why they love certain Christmas movies on Hallmark, and you would learn so much more.
I really would.
You really would. All right, I have Kate's pick for number 14. She has chosen a movie from 2010. It stars Ryan Merriman as Jonathan. Jonathan Bennett, a little wee young Jonathan Bennett from 2010, plays Nick. It's called Elevator Girl. This is Lacey's first Hallmark movie, I believe. She plays a successful Boston lawyer. Jonathan McIntyre is a fatherless workaholic who only dates girls recommended as career boosts by his colleague and buddy, Nick Sweeney. That's Jonathan Bennett. At Jonathan's festive inauguration as the firm's youngest full partner, he meets in the elevator Liberty Taylor, that's Lacey. She's a caterer, and she still refuses to pick one of her jobs for every day of the week. She's encouraged by Jonathan's motherly secretary, Rosemary. They date, they start falling in love. As Nick predicted, her lack of ambition and social skills prove rather a big obstacle for Jonathan's future. What will happen? Kathryn, why do you like Elevator Girl from 2010? It's OG Hallmark here.
Yeah, I mean, I think I really like having the person's first movie on the list. I know my Palaha first movie on the list got hardly vetoed in that match. But this is her first one, so I think it definitely belongs on the list. I think this movie is very cheaply made, but the cast does the best with what I'm sure was a very quick shooting schedule. Jonathan Bennett as a smarmy attorney bro is totally classic. I love seeing these older movies because they deviate so much from the current formula. Like, it's not as cookie cutter. I mean, it's still a cookie cutter rom-com in the end of the day, but it's not like the way that all these other Hallmark movies are so cookie cutter. And it's a fun watch. And I have to say, I particularly enjoyed the early aughts emo chick rock that played throughout this movie. So I think it belongs on the list.
Good reasoning, good reasoning. Emily, what do you think of Elevator Girl at number 14?
As soon as this was played, my heart went, oh my gosh, here we go. Because I had this actually higher on my list. Many for the reasons that were already stated by Kate. However, my biggest pet peeve about this movie is she cannot get her life together with crap. And I cannot stand that, but it's very endearing. I also have I'm gonna go throw back to like my middle school and high school days because I was in love with Ryan Merriman from the Disney side of the Disney Channel. So that's another reason why I really like this movie. Lynn is dying over there, but like him and Smart House, and when he would, I'm sorry, this is a Ryan Merriman podcast now. But I really enjoy this movie. I'm glad it made the list. I'm glad I'm not the only cuckoo one that feels like the low budget movie wants to make the list. So I'm happy where it is at 14. I just want to say also his receptionist that plays the little matchmaker in this, love her to pieces.
She's the bad seed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have to talk about Merriman offline. I did not know this. We are two peas in a pod. And I say that with pride. Okay. Elevator Girl gets a thumbs up from Emily. Mary, what about you? You're next in the veto order. You're going to keep this on the list at 14?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely keeping this on the list at 14. I had it at 15 because I totally agree that it's her first movie, so it needs to be on the list. I will confess, I did not rewatch it for this recording. So I'm going purely on nostalgia, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
So
that's okay.
I love this pick. I have no
stick in your head and you don't have to rewatch them. Yeah, you know it. You know it. Okay, Shannon, you're last up. What do you think? Is this going to stay? Elevator Girl at number 14. Are you a closet Merriman fan too?
Did this make my point system? Well, I am far older than anyone on the panel today. So this movie actually took me back to my soap opera watching days that, you know, they're just cheesy as all get out. I did love Rosemary. I thought she was fantastic, and little baby Jonathan Bennett. The thing about this movie is, I'll say this, when it first came on, I went, oh, I can't watch this. This is terrible. And I'm like, no, I have to. As it went on, it's like all of the cheesiness just kind of fell away. And I was so invested in this doggone story. And then I went, I've got to know what happens. And I think Merriman did such a good job in this little role of just being this poor little uptight lawyer kid, and then just kind of evolving. And I went, wow, this was way better than I thought. So I will not be vetoing this.
Yay. All right. So Elevator Girl is locked in at number 14. As I wait for Emily to send me her first pick for number 13. Erinbeth, did you like Elevator Girl? What did you think of little baby face Jonathan Bennett?
Oh my gosh, he was just like so little. Just so cute. I also agree that this deserves a spot. I mean, it's not necessarily, it's definitely not the best, but the first movie does deserve a spot on the list, especially when you're drafting 15. And my favorite Ryan Merriman is Luck of the Irish. So I just got to get that in. Since we're fangirling for Ryan Merriman, but Elevator Girl, it's cute, and it's annoying that she can't get her life together. I agree, Emily, but it was her first, and it deserves a nod. And I think a nod at the bottom of the list is the best place.
I think it's great. And Scott, Lacey plays sort of like this very kind of flower girl, crunchy granola free spirit, very unlacy, very sort of unlacy, but I think your wife might like this movie.
I'm looking at the IMDb page for it here. This is baby Lacey here. She's 28 years old. And I realize I'm a father of a daughter, so any person under 30 years old looks like an infant to me, but she looks really young here. And I know we're not supposed to judge movies and books by their covers, but I'm of the generation where we used to walk around the video store and you had to make a decision based on what you saw on a box. I'm looking at the cover art for this. I would pass on this movie so hard just on that alone.
It was kind of low budget, but
it looks it.
Really
her
low
wardrobe
budget.
that she wore was my wardrobe at that age.
That's funny.
In that time.
Would you
Is
be
there a
surprised to
beret?
know
Is there
she
a
was
beret or
28 when
anything
she made this, Scott?
Well, it says she was born in 82 and this movie is from 2010.
Yeah,
So
This
that's
is-
math is
so
hard,
she-
but I think I've got it right.
she is. I'm like, she's almost 30 in this movie, but she has a very young look. I think her petiteness helps with that. Like
Well,
she has a
you know-
very young look, even now.
Well, she's what, 40 now, but she has a very elegant look about
That's
her,
true,
and
too.
she wears her age very well.
Yeah.
This just looks ridiculously young to me.
Yeah, she does. She looks like a baby. Okay, I have Emily's pick for number 13. She has chosen a movie from 2017. Lacey plays Jenny Fintley. Brennan Elliott plays Brian Howell. This is All of My Heart in Love. It's the second in the All of My Heart series. And in this one, Brian and Jenny are preparing for the big opening of their bed and breakfast, Emily's Country Inn, when a huge storm hits Bucks County. Brian agrees to return to Wall Street to boost their funds, while Jenny scrambles to keep the inn's opening on time. That's just a really fast scenario. Emily, tell us why you love this movie at number 13.
I adore this series. This is the second one, it's 2 of 3. So if that is any light of any indication going forward, FYI. But okay, so this is her second movie with Brennan Elliott. As you all know, she's been in I think 8 or 9 movies with him at this now. But I really like the storyline of how they're trying to make everything work. They got the inn back up and running. Any movie with Ed Asner in it is a complete, 100%. Yes, definitely. It's very endearing. And the whole thing about this is I find it really funny coming from Brennan's side as well, as there's this whole goat situation. One of my favorite lines out of any of these movies that she's in actually has to deal with him says, I miss my goat, I miss my girl, and not in that order. So it has that funny quirkiness to it that I like. And everything that she bakes, by the way, I just want to eat. So it makes me hungry.
Perfect. It's perfect. I've actually done goat yoga during COVID, which is not as fun and cute as it sounds.
It smells.
Goats are smelly.
Smells,
Goats are
yeah.
smelly. Yeah, just so you know. Okay. Kathryn, you are up in the veto order. What do you think of All of My Heart in Love in the 13th position?
So I do also really love this series. This is my least favorite of the 3. So I'm hoping that means the other 2 are coming above it. This didn't make my top 15, but I can't in good conscience veto anything from the series because they're all great. I really think Brennan's acting style is just very natural in these, and him and Lacey seem very comfortable together. I kind of I get the feeling that the script was a loose outline for Brennan Elliott in these movies. He just has this way about him. It is, like I said, my least favorite of the 3, but I would not veto anything from the series. So I'm fine with it at 13.
They have such a good rapport. Yeah, I think that they've made 9 Hallmark movies together. So thus far. Mary, what do you think of All of My Heart in Love for number 13? Do you like this movie? Did this make your list? Is this a good position?
Listen, I feel that I have a dilemma. I mean, and it's multifaceted. So number one, I think you all are aware of my previous expressed disdain for Brennan Elliott and his face.
Wow.
Apologies to Brennan if he listens. I did realize at some point in the last 6 months that it stems from him in a different series where he played a slime ball, and I watched that series before I got really into Hallmark movies. So I just have this visceral reaction to him, and I don't forgive easily, apparently, when it's someone I've never met in a fictional universe.
But it's someone
However-
you've never met playing a character that you dislike, that isn't the
Yeah.
person at all. I got you.
Yeah. I am nothing if not logical. However, this project being forced to watch him in so many stinking movies has won me over. I no longer hate his face or his person. However, so on the third hand, I guess spoiler alert, I really loved the first movie in this series, and that was a tipping point for me with Brennan. But I was not able to catch this one. I didn't watch this one. I watched the first and the third. I missed the middle. I know it's dumb. I see your face, Emily. Apologies. So I can't veto it. I can't veto it. I don't know. All of that adds up to I will let it ride.
Mary, I'm very proud of you for coming around there on Brennan.
Yeah.
It was a rough go.
Then you didn't tell me this was part therapy session as well. I mean, BetterHelp is not a sponsor, but you might want to contact them.
Yeah, it's what is it? BetterHelp. Yeah, they're not a sponsor. Neither is
Better off.
Yeah, thank you so much. Well, congratulations, Mary, on coming around, as Emily said, on Brennan, and I think you're making the right move, because as we all know, you really don't have a lot of vetoes. So best to say
I don't.
It's a long list. It's a
But
long
also-
list to get through.
But also, this was not on my list, so now it's like, if I don't veto it, then I'm letting something else fall off the list. But I'm gonna let it go.
You're gonna let it go. Shannon, what about you? What do you think of All of My Heart in Love for number 13?
Well, first of all, like you say, Lynn, they have been very shellacked in many of his movies. That's the perfect description. And I'm so glad that it is not the case in the All of My Heart series, because I too really love the series. I don't love this episode. No. So they've been together 6 months, and she is just neurotic over the house, and they're acting like, they've been together forever. They've been together for 6 months, and that fight at the table in front of all the guests, it's just ick. I don't like this one. And looking at the rest of the top 15, I need room for the better movies. So I will be using one of my vetoes on this one.
What? Okay.
Ouch.
I'm
Ouch,
so
we're
sorry,
all-
Emily. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
I
really?
really did not like this
Hey,
one.
what I'm about to do is a complete 180, so you better sit tight. And buckle up.
Shannon is using one of her vetoes. I'm going to cross that one out. Okay, well, Emily, you're going to have to send me another pick. I'm surprised. Scott, are you shocked that she vetoed this movie?
Yes and no, because I realized my place here today, or one of the things that I can do, is decide, would I watch this movie or would I pass on this movie based on what all the panel has said. And there's not a chance on earth I would watch this movie. I don't like goats. I do like a good movie, but it has to be Christmas related. So this would be a hard pass. I guess no, I'm not surprised.
Erinbeth, are you surprised? Someone who's actually watched this movie.
I am in the boat of the three. This is one that can go off the list, and I'm not sad about it. I love this series, but
Yeah.
she drives me nuts in the series because of the 6-month thing. And he's trying to make money to fix her in that she's wanted her whole life, and she's complaining because he's been gone for a week. I'm like, this drives me nuts.
Owner though.
But he's off doing it, like he's out working to make the money to make money for the end so they can fix it. And it's been a week, and she's like acting like he's been gone for 6 months. I mean, it and the argument at the table. So
He's
I
not
was
out golfing, right? He's doing things to forward the plot here.
Mhm.
You know,
But of the
we
three,
all have our things. When I came back from Bramblefest after a week, our cat acted like I'd been gone for a year and a half and just wouldn't even pay any attention to me. You know, I said to my husband, I was like, what the heck? What's up with this? And he's like, well, you were gone. I'm like, it's good for a week, not a year, please. All right.
Are you
I have-
comparing Lacey's character to a cat?
Yes,
That's what
I
I heard.
am. I didn't
would
compare
I
it to
binge
a
watch
goat.
this over and over and over again? Absolutely. Have I? For sure. So I've
Sure.
seen it a lot, but if you only had to watch two, you picked the right ones, Mary.
Yeah. All right. I have Emily's replacement pick for number 13. She has chosen a movie from 2014. Warren Christie plays Michael Spain. It's called The Color of Rain. This movie is based on the book by the same name, written by Michael Spain. That's Spehn. I might be mispronouncing it. It's the story of how he met and fell in love with his second wife, Gina, after his first wife, Kathy, died. Here's the basic storyline. Lacey plays Gina, a widow with two young boys. Gina volunteers at their elementary school, and she meets Michael's children, Jack, Danny, and Charlotte. And as it turns out, their moms, Kathy, died from cancer, just like Gina's husband did. Jack, Danny, and Charlotte's dad is Michael, that's Warren Christie, and he's really struggling as a single dad and a recent widower. So Gina reaches out to him because she's been there, and the two families start to form a friendship. They overcome obstacles together, and Gina and Matt soon realize that there's much more than friendship between them. Emily, this movie gives me big sads in so many ways, but it's also a beautiful film. Tell me why you love The Color of Rain at number 13.
I told you I was going to do a complete 180 here. Okay, so Lynn, what you just said sums it up perfectly. This is, yes, it's big sads, it's a tearjerker. I never watched this movie until about a month ago, and I'm kind of glad I only have had to watch this once because I cry like a little baby. So if anybody saw me on the floor at Bramblefest crying, I had the same cry a few days ago. So it's a very, and I didn't know that this was actually like based upon a true story until the end. So that tugs on my heart even more now. But it's a very relatable story. They use each other to get through everything. Their kids have a great relationship. You know, they go through the ups and downs of everything. What's very unlike Hallmark, we have two deaths within like 5 minutes of the movie at the beginning. But the way that the two families get together and work through this, and the way that they have also at the end with the flowers at the ceremony when they get married, spoiler alert, they just seem like they are a good group of people to get together. Warren Christie does a very great job. Lacey, I see how hard she worked on this. I have this bring up a tough wall here, and I'm going to bring this down for a moment. I have recently been touched by cancer in the past year with my mother, so this also gave me big sads. So it felt really home to me, and it touched and pulled out my heartstrings. And I'm rambling on, so I'm going to stop before I start crying again.
It was beautiful. I'm so sorry about your mom. It seems like cancer is
She's
just
fine, but like it's still very fresh.
Yeah, I get it. You know, that movie that they showed at Bramblefest, I couldn't watch it. I had to leave. I just couldn't do it. So I get you. I totally get you. Kathryn, Kate, what do you think of The Color of Rain at number 13?
This is pretty close to where I have it on my list also, so I won't be vetoing. I think like Hallmark used to do a lot of these like based on a true story movies, and they're always pretty well made, and they're like a little more engrossing than like the typical rom-com, but they're just not rewatchable. Like you can't go back to these. And I had seen this once before and I rewatched it for this, and I don't see myself going back to it again. It's really sad and hard to watch. I mean, I love Warren Christie like so much, so I'm so glad that like his movie is represented on this list, and that Lacey's like dramatic turn is represented on this list. But it's like a sad movie, and I probably won't watch it again, but it definitely belongs on the list to show a little bit of the range in Lacey's Hallmark land. So
Yeah, good point. Mary, how about you?
Well, I don't come to Hallmark for Cry Fest. I don't come anywhere for that. I don't enjoy that, but I would. So I didn't have this on my list, but I have another one of her sad movies on my list. So I'd be a hypocrite to veto it because I don't like sad movies. So
It's gonna stay.
it's gonna stay.
It's gonna stay. That leaves you, Shannon.
Wonderful.
I have to say,
let me
can I just say, like
my
the
heart
mood on the
sank.
screen just like plummeted.
Yeah, my heart sank as soon as you said Warren Christie. I went, oh God, I just vetoed Emily's last pick. Oh no.
It's okay, Shannon. I can deal with that. I have a whole lot more choices.
So my what I thought about when I was watching this, like Mary, I do come to Hallmark for something else. I have enough of big sads going on. So I come to Hallmark to be, cheery and feel good. I just thought, I did know that it was based on a true story. And I did like the part that these two people were, allowed to move on with their lives. It showed them, getting through something really just heartbreaking, and then they found each other, and it wasn't like this big it was taboo there for a minute, but then everybody got past it and they were allowed to live their lives. And it's based on a true story, and I don't know the story. I'm hoping these people are still together, because if they're not, that would be a shame. But it's not on my list, but I listening to Emily's points there, she's got some good points. And I have a couple other movies that I would absolutely veto if they came up, and it's not going to be this one, so it can stay.
they
All
are
right.
still together. I Instagram lurked them, and when Lacey was on Wheel of Fortune, she was playing for their charity.
Oh, that's
That's right.
good. Okay, then I'm completely happy with my non-veto.
I'm so glad you brought that up. I was going to say that too. We love watching like Jeopardy, and we record Wheel of Fortune watch it when we can. But when I saw Lacey was on it, I made my husband watch it, and she did play for this charity, and it was really sweet. So great pick, Emily. The Color of Rain is locked in at 13. That moves us to Mary to offer up her first pick at number 12. So right now we have Pride, Prejudice, and Mistletoe at 15, Elevator Girl at 14. At 13 is The Color of Rain. And Mary is going to send me over her pick. For
Mary, you
number
got to lighten up the room a little bit here now.
12. Yes,
For sure.
No kidding. I like what Mary and Shannon had to say about not looking for sad stuff. My escapism would be enjoyment and merriment, not this. And also, the title, The Color of Rain, is so eye-rolly to me that I would never watch it.
Well, and here's the thing with the title, though, too. There was no rain in it. There was just a rainbow. Like, they didn't even show the rain. It was just a rainbow. They needed a new title. Let's be honest.
There's so many problems.
Great. Title bad.
Well,
I think the book that it's based off of is called The Color of Rain. So.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
yeah.
Well, we'll shift the blame to
I
that
have
author.
Mary's pick for number 12. And I'm pretty sure I know which way this is going to go. So let's just get to it. She has chosen a movie from 2018 where Lacey is Chloe. The lead actor plays Seth Anderson. The lead actor is Mrs. Walker's husband, Andrew Walker. I've seen this movie so many times for these drafts. I think Andrew Walker is just, a presence at every single draft, I believe, so far. It's My Secret Valentine. A young woman takes advice from the chalkboard. That is not, I am not misspeaking. This is true. A young woman takes advice from the chalkboard. Scott, pay attention. The notes that she gets are very mysterious, and it's in this house rental that she has. So there's a slick sales rep that arrives with plans to buy her family's prized winery. So we've got a note leaving mysterious chalkboard, takes place at a winery. Chloe Grange, the general manager at an upscale restaurant in Portland, Oregon. That's Lacey. She heads home to the Grange family wineries in Oregon wine country for a week's rest. The renter and Chloe leave each other messages on the kitchen blackboard. The renter signing his messages handyman. There's a joke in there somewhere. And Chloe signing her messages in need of repair. This movie was 9th out of the best 11 in the Andrew Walker draft in September. That's the very first Hallmark Movie Draft show, and it was drafted by Jillian, Dan, and Emily, who's here today. So, Mary, why do you like My Secret Valentine for this pick?
Okay, so I love You've Got Mail, and so I'm always a sucker for the like anonymous love note exchange, that whole trope. I like that. I have started getting a little tired of when one person finds out before the other, because it feels like an unfair like balance of power, which happened in this one, but I still like it. I thought that she had a great relationship with the dad in this movie and a great relationship with her friend in this movie. We've got Andrew Walker, and he's doing a I don't know, like a Matthew McConaughey impression or something with his Texas accent. So that was funny. I mean, for me, the only downfall of this movie is the poster, because I don't know if you guys can think of it off the top of your head or if you need to look it up, but we all need to see it, because I don't know what they did to Andrew, but it does not look like him. It's hideous. But that has nothing to do with Lacey or the movie, I guess. So I like it.
Wow, that's an adjective you don't often hear with Andrew. Hideous is not usually the adjective that comes up.
Right? Like, how much effort had to go into making him look awful?
Exactly. Scott, what were you saying? I sort of spoke over you.
Am I looking at the right one? He's wearing this purple sweater and it's hideous.
Yes.
Yep. This took some work to make him look that bad.
That's bad.
I think he looks fine.
I do like Lacey in wine color, or whatever you want to call this reddish. She looks great, but this does not look good on him.
Bordeaux. Yes. So Emily, Mrs. Walker, you are first up in the veto order. Are you going to veto your husband?
It should come as no surprise that I love Snack Guy.
There's his love your pillow.
Yep, I had to bring him. I actually drafted this movie in that draft.
I know.
This was hard because this movie was on the edge of me drafting this, so I didn't know where this was gonna fall. So Mary, thank you so much for drafting this. I'm not gonna veto it, and I love this to pieces. And wine for everyone.
Wine for everyone. I think that's a motto Kathryn can stand by. Kathryn, do you like this movie?
I do like this movie. This is way higher on my list, but I'm okay with it where it is. And bringing us to wine pairings, today I'm drinking an Oregonian Pinot Noir because the Grange family wine's bestseller is their Pinot Noir, and they're in Oregon. So there we go.
This is why I love you. This is great. If I didn't have so many sheets to keep track of during this match, I would be drinking a wine as well. Way to go. Way to go.
Yeah, no, I had to do it as soon as I realized it was another Oregon wine movie, which if you listen to the Filmed on Location draft, you will understand where I'm coming from. I had to do it. No, I love this movie. I love the shop around the corner, You Got Mail trope. every time Hallmark does it. I don't care. And I agree that someone always has to find out first, but I think one of these times we have to have like the chick find out first, because it's always the dude.
It's always the guy. It's always the guy.
But you know, we've got the king and queen of Hallmark movies in this movie, so it has to be on the list. And Lacey's not great with the end of movie kiss, but leave it to Andrew Walker to finally give her a decent one. So
Yes,
there you go.
exactly. Shannon, are you going to let this stay at number 12, My Secret Valentine?
I think I'm beginning to think that Kathryn and I have like the exact same taste in Hallmark movies, because this was a lot higher on my list as well. If somebody could make me just an endless loop of Andrew going past the door on the tractor, I would be the happiest person in the world. That just
It's
makes
by my bed,
day.
actually. So
Oh, it is phenomenal. No way would I veto this movie. It's so much fun.
Oh, Andrew on a tractor at Emily's house. I just can't. Andrew on a tractor at Emily's house.
and I don't live by a big field either. I'm in a city. So
That just makes it even better. I love it. I love it. All right, guys, congratulations. The first 4 of you have got your picks onto the list. We're doing well. So we're now going to go back to you, Emily, for number 11, please. Oh my goodness. So while we're doing that, Erinbeth, you and I have been through a lot of Andrew Walker movies together.
Did you say
like
Andy
this one?
movies? Are you
Did I say Andy movies?
You're very, very familiar with Mr. Walker now. You're
Very, very.
Andy.
I gotta take a breather on that. Whew.
You know,
Exactly.
this is another one that I feel like you and I could do our interpretation review of acting this out.
Yeah.
That trope is not one of my favorites. And so as much as I do love You've Got Mal and Shop Around the Corner, I don't think that Hallmark ever does great on it. I do love Andrew and Lacey, however. So when it's on, I will watch it. Like if it comes on Hallmark and I have Hallmark playing, I don't change the channel. So that's always that's like one of my levels of how good a movie is whether I would watch it if it just shows up, or if it's the one I'm going to change the channel and try to find something else if it comes on. So it's a cute one. It's a cute one. It also was one of our trivia questions had we gotten that far. So can anyone finish the chalkboard message that Lacey writes that says, I smiled until blank, blank, blank.
You stop looking at Mrs. Walker.
I smiled until my cheeks hurt was her statement.
How sweet.
Okay, great.
And Erinbeth, this
So-
is the first movie that's been mentioned today that I've said, well, I might watch that. So take that for what it's worth.
Good
Oh,
choice.
You should watch
Good
it.
choice.
And then
Definitely.
Andrew
we
Walker always delivers. Andrew Walker always delivers, right, Emily? Yeah,
95% of the time.
exactly. Okay, I have Emily's pick for number 11. She has chosen a movie from 2014. Jane Seymour is in this movie. Stephen Hagen is in this movie as Prince Leopold of Cordinia. Prince Leopold is heir to the throne of Cordinia. He wishes to marry his young love, Emily Taylor, that's Lacey, a humble seamstress from Philadelphia. But Leopold's mother, Queen Isadora, played by Jane Seymour, has other plans for her son and is determined to chase the commoner intruder away and have Leo marry his eager, overconfident, aristocratic childhood friend, Natasha, Duchess of Warren. So this movie was featured in the Royal Battle Royale draft that we did earlier this year. That was with Dan, Elizabeth, and Jillian, Lady Panda. It was super competitive, and I believe they are still litigating that final top 10 because they argued for days. Emily, why do you love A Royal Christmas at
Erinbeth is
number
about
11?
to kill over there, so I apologize. I I had to at least try to get this on. Let me tell you, this is her only royal movie. I will watch it on his background. Jane Seymour, I just love Jane Seymour. She's fantastic. But the proposal at the end is what gets me, when he goes back and he just proposes in the middle of the street without a coat, and she comes out without a coat back in the States. I don't know. It's quirky. It's easy to watch. It's probably one of my favorite royal movies. And I actually didn't have to rewatch this because I've seen it so many times.
I love it.
For this movie.
That's great. Jane Seymour chews the scenery as the mean mom, right? Yeah, she's fabulous.
It comes
Kathryn,
around at the end, though. That's all that matters.
All that
Exactly.
matters.
Lacey tries her hardest. She comes around.
comes around. Kathryn, what do you think of A Royal Christmas at number 11?
Okay, like I knew this one was gonna come up. I'm not a fan of it. But I'm like open to be swayed because I know this is also just like one of the classic Lacey movies. Like they play, it's, you know, they don't play a lot of the old ones every year, but they play this one every year because I just think it's popular. People watch it, people like it. Like to say something good about it, I think Lacey and the Prince like kind of good. They were cute together, and Jane Seymour is an icon. But other than that, it's kind of just not one of my favorites. But I'm not going to use my veto because I knew it was going to come up, and as one of Lacey's like most replayed and like popular movies, like it should be on the list, even though I wouldn't have it on my personal list.
Wow. Okay. She's going to leave it on the list. She's holding her nose on her personal list. That's fine. Mary, what about you? A Royal Christmas. There's no sads in this movie.
I don't understand what's happening because
Get in line. None of us do.
well, to put this movie, this classic, iconic Lacey holiday royal movie at all the way down at number 11.
Come on,
Yes,
girls.
Mary. Yes, Mary.
Come on, Mary.
I
had to
just
at least try. I did.
and to hear someone say they don't like it at all, I mean, that's
Mhm.
fine because we all like different things. It's fine. But to like it and to put it at 11, I had to convince myself not to put it at number 1.
Mhm.
But
It's a good
here's the
dude.
thing. Here's the thing.
I feel a 1 coming on. I'm sensing the 1 coming out.
Well, listen, I'm analyzing the situation because despite my trash talk earlier, my veto situation is a problem because I had to pick the level or whatever it's called where I have fewer picks of actual movies so I could have an extra veto. But why bother using a veto? Because I only have 3 picks.
But if you love this movie so much, you could veto it and play it at number 1 because you get the number 1 pick.
Oh gosh, you guys.
You're
would
in a
hate
predicament,
that.
aren't you, Mary?
She's in a pickle.
Boy,
It's
I
almost
am
like
in a
Emily
pickle.
planned it this way.
It's almost like it's a
rodeo.
Oh my
it's-
gosh.
it's almost like it's the point of the whole game.
I'm
Oh,
starting to
I do
understand
not.
this game. Yep.
I do
hate to
not
play my
like
hand early,
playing
but if this makes
strategic
it to number
games.
1, I've got a lot of vetoes.
I have a lot of videos too.
Oh.
So there are some movies that do not deserve to be in the top 5. I'm just saying that I'm with Kate on that one.
What do you
Doesn't
think,
have
Mary?
vetoes. I don't. Oh gosh, I don't know.
It's a hard one, Mary.
Okay, listen. Coming into this, my philosophy was that we don't need all 3 or all 5, whatever, movies in a series on the list. But then Emily goes and plays All of My Heart in Love. So now, like, you guys may be holding on to the top, like all of the crossword mysteries movies to be in the top 5. I don't even know what's happening. I know I have to pick. I like the clock is ticking.
Clock is ticking.
I have all day.
And she has
Oh
all
my
vetoes.
gosh. My family will come back from the pool eventually.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna let it go.
Wow.
I'm gonna let it go because Kathryn Bucket scares me.
Kathryn doesn't scare me. Erinbeth scares me, actually. So.
I don't have any vetoes.
She doesn't have any.
I don't have any skin in this game.
Because I know how you feel.
She has less power than I do here.
You got this all wrong. If you should be scared of
It's
anyone,
over.
it should be Scott. All right.
Actually, Mary should be scared of me. I'm just kidding.
All right. A Royal Christmas has gotten the pass from Mary. Shannon?
Why is this
What's-
coming to me? Why?
Because you lost.
Mary,
trivia.
I was like sending mental vibes to you. Why is this coming to me? Oh my. Okay, well, Kathryn and I are not the same person. Okay, that's been proven. This was obviously so much higher on my list, as it should be. Oh, for Pete's sake. What number are we on, Lynn? 11?
That's only 11.
11? It's not
11.
even the top 10? Oh
No,
my goodness.
It's not even in the top half, not the top 10.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
For only Royal movie,
Yeah.
maybe even.
This is insanity. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, hold on a second. I gotta look. I gotta peek and see how badly I don't like the. Oh no. There's some movies that cannot be on. They can't, but nobody could possibly like them. They would have to be vetoed.
You
You
never
would
know.
have to
My owner
be.
things have happened.
Oh, this hurts. Okay. Ah.
I mean, we got My Family Christmas Tree at number 3 on Andrew Walker's.
Oh,
right.
good
Top 11.
Lord.
I'm just saying, crazier things have happened.
Did we discuss
Oh.
Brian Harold's pick in the Christmas movie draft?
I don't want
Things
to talk about it.
happen. Things happen. What are you gonna do, Shannon?
Oh my goodness. Ah, this is terrible. This is terrible. Can we say there was a recording glitch? Go back to Mary and let her do it again.
No.
Ah. It
And just remember, your names are on this final list. You own this list collectively.
this is disgusting.
And if you screw up, no one will let you forget it.
Man, how could
Speaking
it not be
as
in the
someone who
top
did
10?
screwed up.
You know what? I have 100% confidence this is going to come back and bite me in the butt hard, but I can't let that go at 11. I have to veto it. I have to.
Good.
Wait, I feel really bad right now, guys.
Way to go.
I have an
In a
override.
situation, someone's
Oh,
gonna play
geez,
10.
Kathryn.
I know. I was like, Shannon, don't do it because I love you and I don't want to use it.
Shannon has used her veto, which leaves Shannon with a veto override herself. Kate, did I hear you correctly? Are you going to override Shannon's veto?
I feel so bad if I do, but I kind of don't want this movie any higher.
Shots fired. Woo.
Is that a yes?
Oh my God.
Do it.
I'm really a nice person, I swear, but yes, I'm using my veto override.
Ah.
Because Shannon, I was gonna give you a lot of shit because you vetoed so many of my.
Wow. Okay. Veto
Oh.
I'm
override.
gonna get so much crap for this on the double-decker group. I can already feel it.
Kathryn, we
Oh
live
my.
so close to each
I
other
know.
too.
Goodness.
Shannon, I'm sorry. And we agree on so many other movies too. Like this is very
Oh my goodness.
Ooh.
I'm gonna
All
get
right.
beat so hard next.
Well,
I'm,
I
Well-
was right. It came back to bite me in the butt instantly.
I'm sorry.
Wow. Okay. So this is locked in. I don't think I didn't actually plan for a rule where a veto override could be overridden with another veto override. There's nothing that says it can't be, but technically when a veto override is played, it locks in the title in that position and ends the discussion. Those are the rules. So we are going to move on. And folks, you can send your complaints to shannonw@gmail.com.
Not me.
That's not her address. So
That's
whoever's
okay.
getting
That's
it, I'm sorry.
Kathryn.
Oh, that's
I know.
right.
I
So,
think I'm the
Lynn-
bad guy in this situation.
Lynn, I
It's also
can't
going to me because
filibuster
they
this
drafted it
travesty of
outside of the
justice.
top 10.
Ugh.
Wow.
I knew,
Wow.
I'm
That was
sorry.
crazy. That was
I was-
crazy.
Scott, I cut you off. I'm sorry. What did you say?
Lynn, can I filibuster this travesty of justice here? Because listen, you all have to know this. I've watched this movie twice, voluntarily. This would, if I were participating today, this would be number one.
Amen.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
tried.
Yeah,
tried.
just
It's
just
a
wait till you
royal
get
movie.
to the host
And she
side
stands
hustle
at the
with
top of the
Erinbeth and
stairs
I.
in the white dress, and oh, come on. Hearts
Yeah.
of
My conscience
concrete
is
over
clear.
Look, I knew this was going to be one that everybody loved, and I was ready to be swayed. But honestly, like outside of like just nostalgia, I didn't hear much in the way of like swaying me to like really like this movie. So I'm sorry.
Lynn, if
That's
that
fine.
dumb safari
Nostalgia?
movie,
Tear down.
Lynn,
Wow.
if that dumb safari movie comes in above this, I'm walking. I'm out of here.
You and me both, Scott.
All
Don't
right.
you talk bad about my dumb safari movie.
I like that dumb safari movie. Hang on here. All right, Kate, send me your pick for number 10, please.
I'm just like a little sad.
I'm sorry.
Sad here. Reeling from it. One of my all-time favorite movies is Somewhere in Time. So like if
I
Jane
agree
Seymour
with
is in
you.
something, I just love it. Like it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how bad she is in it. I just
No,
love it.
I love Somewhere in Time also, but that doesn't save this movie for me. Sorry.
You're like not enough to save this movie.
I don't know. I'm seeing my good friend Kate in a whole new light. I almost want to stop. I just want to stop this draft right now. That was crazy.
I know.
Can I
I'm
just
really-
say that was my number one movie, Kate? Number one on my list.
Sorry.
I'm just gonna go cry.
It wasn't mine.
The all-time best princess or almost princess dress is her dress. I said it in the royal movie. That pink dress, she comes down those stairs. It is everything you want in a princess. Totally.
Even I agree.
Partly agree on that.
All right, let's dry our tears. We're going to move on. I have the number 10 pick from Benedict Kate. It is a movie from 2020. Tyler Hines plays Owen. It's Winter in Vale. Chelsea, played by Lacey, inherits her uncle's house in Vale. She meets Owen, whom she hires to do some house repairs, and along the way, she gets a much-needed break. Together, they put on Strudelfest to highlight the charm of Old Vale. This is the movie that Tyler says launched his bootshot tradition glass. This was ranked 4th in the best Tyler Hines movies edition in March. And that was drafted by Jen, Brandon, and Tracy P. Kate, why do you like Winter in Vale at number 10?
So I think that there's 2 movies where Lacey gets left like an estate by her uncle, like her dead uncle in these movies. This is the better of the 2. I'm sorry, Erinbeth. I know we kind of just mentioned your favorite safari movie. I don't like the safari movie. This one is much better. I think it's very cozy. I think this is probably my favorite Tyler performance. I don't know if it's his best, but it's my favorite. I really like his character in this, and I think it belongs on the list. But now I'm ready for everyone to veto me and hate me for the rest of this game. So
No, I think you might be pretty safe. Mary, what do you think of, Emily, what do you think of Winter in Vale at number 10?
I love this movie. It was higher on my list, and I believe it deserves to be higher on this list. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to veto this movie
okay.
because I think it deserves to go way higher.
All right. So Winter
I
in
was ready
Vale-
to use my vetoes, and there's a few that I was gonna die on a hill on, and that's one of them.
That's one of them. All right, so Emily has vetoed Winter in Vale at number 10. She's saying that it's going to be higher up on the list. Does anyone with a veto override care to override Emily's veto? And if not, all right, Kate, back to you for a second pick, please.
Okay.
Scott, you live in Colorado. Have you been to Vail? Have you skied Vail? Have you been to Strudelfest? Is there a Strudelfest?
I don't know. Vail's a little too posh for me. They don't like my kind there. But the movie, I mean, only the stills from this movie look amazing. I mean, Lacey in one of these hats with the poofy thing on top, forget about it.
And it was filmed in Vail. Like they did a lot of the
Yes.
scenes in Vail. So it's as a Coloradan, it's beautiful to watch it when they
That's
actually
right.
film in the location.
That's right. Okay. I have Kate's replacement pick for number 10. She has chosen a movie from 2020. Stephen Huzzar plays Ben. It is Time for Us to Come Home for Christmas. I believe this is Lacey's 23rd Hallmark movie. Her first was Elevator Girl. In this one, she plays a lawyer named Sarah. She and 4 other people are sent mysterious anonymous invitations to spend Christmas at a bed and breakfast inn now run by Ben, a former Wall Streeter. They each accept the invites for various reasons. They each carry their own sadness in their hearts, which are revealed throughout the film. So there's a mystery, it's Christmas, and of course there's romance between Ben and Sarah. And the ending has an unexpected twist. And special note, Lacey and actor / producer / singer Leon, who plays Jasper, sing the title song that was written by Blake Shelton. So, Kate, why do you like Time for Us to Come Home for Christmas at number 10?
So I know that these movies are not well loved in the double-decker community, but I think this is the best of the Time for Them series. I take it apart from those other movies. I don't really think of them as like a group because they're all totally different stories. Leon is from one of my childhood favorite movies, Cool Runnings, and he does the best version of this Blake Shelton song. I love Stephen Huzzar and Lacey together in this movie. I just like this one. I don't know if this is going to make the list either because I know it's not a popular series, but I'm going to go for it. So let's see.
Mrs. Walker looks like she's got some thoughts here on this movie. Emily, you are first up in the veto order. What do you think of Time for Us to Come Home for Christmas?
I sure do have some thoughts. These movies in this little package of what we call Blake Shelton-esque movies are hard to watch. This one, I do agree, is easier to watch. I personally like the little mystery of this. This did not make my list at all. I watched it last night though. And I remembered that I forgot that she was even in one until we were starting to do this because to me that it's forgettable, but I forgot like how like it wraps it up in a nice little package and it's tolerable and huzzahs on it. So I'm just gonna, I don't want to use all my vetoes, so I'm just gonna let it stay.
Huzzah, huzzah. Fantastic. Okay.
And wait, can I also say real quick, there is so much gosh darn snow in this movie for a Christmas movie. So kudos to Hallmark.
And Lacey sings. Helps to sing the song at the end, right? Mary, what do you think? I cannot read that expression, Mary. I don't know what you're going to say. What do you think?
Stay in the closet, it looks like.
I know.
Hide in the corner.
No, she's scaring me. That look, I feel intimidated now. What do you think of Time for Us to Come Home for Christmas at number 10?
It's just I was okay with Winter in Vale. I actually have that one lower on my list, but I was like, this is fine. But to put this movie in number 10 above A Royal Christmas, I didn't like this movie. I hate like the principle of this series of movies, like being based on stupid. But I think that a couple of them are cute and I enjoy them, but this is not one of them. I don't like it. I actually don't need Lacey to sing. I have been mislabeled as a Lacey super fan, but we're in it, so you can't kick me out. I'm gonna veto it.
Whoa, Mary is going to use one of her vetoes, and she is going to veto. Kate is getting vetoed for the second time in a row. I need another movie from your list. While you're doing that, I'm going to do a recap. We have Pride, Prejudice, and Mistletoe at number 15. Elevator Girl is 14. The Color of Rain is 13. My Secret Valentine is 12. A Royal Christmas is 11. I have Kate's pick for number 10. It is a movie from 2018. Brennan Elliott plays Brian Howell. It's All of My Heart, The Wedding. It's the third in the series. Jenny and Brian are planning their wedding. Emily's country inn is filled with happy guests. Then a distant relative of Emily's arrives and she stakes a claim to the house. The pressure is on as Jenny and Brian try to raise enough money to hang on to their home. They go for broke, expanding her Jenny's company, Jenny's Home Baked. Brian even considers a return to Wall Street. Jenny and Brian's enduring love will once again be tested as the wedding day approaches and they struggle to keep the house that brought them together. Kate, why do you like this movie at number 10, even though it's probably not number 10 on your list? It's drafted as number 10.
As I've stated, I do really love this series. I think that the conflict in this one is much better than the conflict in the second movie. It's hard when they do these recurring things to come up with something new because they already had the happy ending in the first movie. But you know, like the Brennan with his dad and Lacey with her cousin, I think was a little more interesting than the like workaholic situation they had going in the second movie. I think it's really cute that she just keeps inviting everyone they run into to the wedding. And I think ultimately it's a very lovely ending to a solid Hallmark trilogy. So there we go.
Very good. Very good. Okay. Emily. What do you
Yes,
say?
no additional comment. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's do it. Mary, what do you say?
Finally. All my
Mary,
heart.
what do you say?
Fine. Fine. It was a good argument for it. So fine. Yeah.
She's embracing her inner Alonzo. She says it's fine. Shannon, what about you?
Well, there's nothing I can do, but any movie that gives me It's a Wonderful Life vibes would be A in my book anyway. So
Did we do it? We did it. We did it. Number 10. All right.
That
now
was the longest part of drafting 5 movies ever.
oh my God. That was brutal.
And I'm sorry, it was partially my fault.
Kate,
Sorry, not sorry.
Kate, you were a trooper with number 10 and 3 plays. So
I knew I was going to get punished for my override there.
that brings us to Shannon for
gosh,
the number
that's me.
9.
That's me. Oh, Lordy, Lordy,
pick.
Lordy.
And I just want to point out that I did see Time for Us to Come Home for Christmas. And because I've seen so few of these, I just wanted to make that one known. And Lacey as a lawyer, oh yeah. I love powerful women. I love those kind of roles. So I would watch that all day long, but I guess I'm in the minority.
I have Shannon's pick. I have Shannon's pick for number 9. She has chosen a movie from 2018. It's co-stars John Core. This was filmed on location in South Africa. Lacey plays Kira, a web designer from Chicago who inherits a wildlife reserve in South Africa. Yes, Shannon has chosen Love on Safari. When she's there in South Africa, she meets head ranger Tom, Will she sell it and return to her accountant boyfriend, Brad? This movie was eligible for the Filmed on Location draft back in 2022. You'll have to check out that podcast to see if it made our final list or not. It was a best of 7 draft with Kathryn and Tracy facing off. Shannon, why do you like Love on Safari for number 9?
I didn't think this through enough because I had to come up with some reason that I like this movie. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful to watch.
Wait, hang on. Is this number 9 because of your point system?
No, it's not. It's not. I like Brittany Barstow. I do. I like Brittany Barstow a lot.
It has giraffes.
It has giraffes. There's some elephants and
a lot of jeeps.
A lot of jeeps. I do like Wazzy. I think she was great. I really can't say any more about it.
This is a wonderful movie. It's filmed on location. It has everything that Shannon mentioned. I still have no idea why Shannon is playing this because her ringing endorsement is sounds like she's getting, a root canal over there. I'm not sure what's happening. And Emily is literally dying. Emily, you're first up in the veto order. What is happening here?
What is happening? Oh my God. I can't wait until we go through what was actually on our list and not on our list, because this is going to be fun. Okay. So I know a lot of people hate this movie. I know a lot of people like it. I like it just because my dream is a safari and it's absolutely gorgeous. She saved the animals. That's a big perk for me. Brittany Barstow, she's great. John Core was decent. He could have done better, but he's fine. Easy on the eyes. But the fact that Shannon says, I like it, it's fine. I don't know why I'm playing it. That gives me the reason to keep it because it made my top 15 somewhere. I'm not telling you where yet. But I'm going to let someone else veto this if that's the case.
Emily's letting it slide.
I'm not going to die over this one.
You're not going to die on this hill?
She saved the animals for crying out loud. So...
Kate, what are you going to do? You're going to keep this?
Yeah, I feel like this is falling on me because Mary, you only have one more veto, right? And I have a lot of vetoes. And obviously the location, the animals are stunning in this movie. Other than that, the story is just boring. And like you said, John Core is not one of the best Hallmark guys. He's okay, and yes, I like Brittany Barstow, but guess what? She's doing a safari movie with Andrew Walker pretty soon here, so I think that's gonna blow this one out of the water. I guess I'll have to use one of my 3 vetoes. I'm sorry, Shannon. I feel like I've been using them all on you.
All right, Kate has used one of her vetoes. She still has 2 left. Love on Safari has been vetoed. Shannon, send me another movie choice for number 9.
All right, let me send you a good one. Okay, we're at number 9, you said, yeah?
Yep, we're at number 9.
Okay, I think this is
I have Shannon's pick for number 9, her replacement pick. It's from 2017. Lacey is Kylie. Lee Coco plays Nick. It's called The Sweetest Christmas. Struggling pastry chef Kylie learns she's made it to the finals of the American Gingerbread competition and hopes the publicity will help her jumpstart her new cafe. There's just one problem. The oven she's supposed to use breaks down right before the contest. So she reaches out to Nick, her old boyfriend from culinary school, who now runs his family's pizzeria. Nick allows her to use his industrial pizza oven at night to craft her ambitious gingerbread confections. As the two reminisce about the dreams of their youth, their romance is rekindled. But just as Kylie is embracing true love, things get complicated when her boyfriend, her ex-boyfriend, takes drastic steps to win her back. Okay, Shannon, tell us about The Sweetest Christmas and why you like it for number 9.
Okay, so when I first was looking through the list of Lacey movies to watch and this one was on it, it was in my head that, ew, I can't stand that movie. I never want to see it again, but I have to watch it. So I watched it and I went, wait, is that the movie I thought it was? Because I really liked it. And I was shocked because I'd only seen it once and I was never going to watch it again. but I watched it. I thought the little kid was really cute. I love Ralphie. Ralphie is so great. I need a Ralphie in my life. This movie is just so Hallmark. You know, you've got that oaf Alex, her boyfriend who's all about the team, and then you've got the ex-boyfriend who owns the new restaurant. It's just so Hallmark. Like, it has to be on this list. It has to be.
Okay. Shannon says it has to be on this list. Emily says what?
I absolutely hate this movie. I find it very boring. Okay, wait. Am I the only one with who has vetoes left?
Okay, so here's the veto rundown, and I'm just talking
does,
vetoes,
but
not
I think-
overrides.
Okay.
Kate has one veto, you have one veto, and Mary has one veto.
And Kate says she has two.
Kate has 2.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kate has 2 vetoes, sorry, yeah.
And I have a veto and a veto override. Oh, you guys. I feel bad for Shannon because she's had 5 Okay, just for the mere fact that poor Shannon has had 5 movies vetoed, and and I just think there's way better movies, and I think we all know what shouldn't be. I'm just gonna let this go. I'm sorry. As much as I hate this,
She's only had one movie vetoed.
has she?
Yeah, Kate's the one that took him down.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Oh my God. This is 9.
This is 9.
Oh boy.
We have Pride, Prejudice, and Mistletoe, Elevator Girl, The Color of Rain, number 12, My Secret Valentine, 11, A Royal Christmas, 10, All of My Heart, The Wedding, and 9 is being offered up as The Sweetest Christmas.
It's a freaking gingerbread competition, guys.
You know what to do. Do the right thing.
I'm sorry, I have to veto it.
There you go. All right. We are vetoing The Sweetest Christmas.
God, what did I just do?
Emily, you still have one veto left. Let's take a break. Let's take a quick break. We'll regroup. We will come back better, stronger than ever before.
I'll need to be.
I think I might go grab a glass of wine because this list is killing me right now. I have Shannon's pick for number 9. I think I am encouraged by this break that we just had, people. Here we go. For number 9, Shannon has offered up a movie from 2012. Florence Henderson is in it. John Ratzenberger is in it. Adam Mayfield is in it. It's Matchmaker Santa. As a little girl, Melanie Hogan, Lacey, wished to find her own Prince Charming, just like her parents found true love. Now an adult, Melanie is running her own bakery and dating a handsome CEO, Justin. Although things seem perfect when Justin asks Melanie to spend the holidays with him at his lake house upstate and meet his mother, played by Florence Henderson, Melanie finds herself spending more time with Justin's best friend and loyal assistant, Dean, that's Adam Mayfield, who might have a secret crush on her. When complications arise that throw Melanie and Dean together over the holiday, will the two realize they are meant to be? Shannon, why do you like this movie at number 9?
First, I have to say this does not include the ending of the movie. Okay, the ending of the movie does not belong in this at all. Okay, so just take that out. Okay, so for the rest of it, there was a time in my life when the only Christmas movies I had to watch were A Christmas Card and Matchmaker Santa. And I watched them so often, my kids can recite every bit of both of those movies. Thankfully, I have more options now. But Matchmaker Santa was my entry into the Hallmark Christmas movies. So I had to have it on there. I love Florence Henderson. I love John Ratzenberger's part. I feel so bad for poor Robert Pine ending up in the plant. Yes, thank you. Good grief, the poison ivy. It's just, I don't, I think Justin's a jerk. He's the perfect, ex. I'm not crazy about Adam Mayfield, but you know, it's fine. It's fine. I love the town. The town is so great. I want to go there. I want to break down so George cannot fix my car. They had a great tree for the tree lighting. It was a good tree lighting in that one.
It's a wonderful magical Santa trope that Hallmark rolls out every now and then.
Even though
Emily,
he's so mean.
what do you think about Matchmaker Santa for number 9?
I do want to go bang my head on a wall, but I will. I'm not a big fan of this. I found this movie very, very, very boring. Confusing. There's so many what's in this movie for me. And can I just? She gets her secret ingredients of pure vanilla extract for her cookies. Y'all, it's in every single fucking cookie recipe in the whole entire world. Like, it's not a secret ingredient, okay? Why, Hallmark? Why?
See how far we've come.
I don't care. The only reason why I continued with this movie was because of John Rattenberg and Florence Henderson. The end. I don't have any vetoes to do, so.
Okay, Kate, how do you feel about vanilla as a secret ingredient and magical Santas and John Ratzenberger?
So Shannon, as much as we agreed on Palaha, I feel that we do not agree on Lacey movie. I don't like this movie. The only reason I think it deserves any place on this list is because it's her first Christmas movie with Hallmark. But other than that, it's terrible. Like John Ratzenberger and Mary Margaret Humes from Dawson's Creek, they probably came in and filmed for like one day. Like, there's no point for them to be there. And Florence Henderson was so weird in this movie. Like, and I hate the like magical Santa, and I know that some people really like that old school thing, but and this is like number 30 out of 32, and I just don't know if I want to use another veto. It's her first Christmas movie with Hallmark, and I will like just justify that in my brain as to why it's on the list.
Okay,
So.
Mary, what say you? You have a veto left. How do you feel about magical Santas and vanilla as a secret ingredient that no one's ever used before in a cookie?
This movie does not hold up at all. But there was a time when I watched it a lot and I loved it a lot, so I want it to be on the list.
We did it. We have locked in number 9, Matchmaker Santa. OMG. That brings us back to you, Shannon, for number 8, because you got a back-to-back.
Good grief.
Welcome to the Shannon Shit Show.
Holy moly, that's how it feels.
You're doing great. You're fine. Don't
I'm
be
more
scared.
afraid of this than I was on the safari.
You're among friends. Oh my goodness. All right. I have Shannon's pick for number 8. She has chosen a movie from 2021. Stuart Townsend plays Aidan Hart. It's Christmas at Castle Hart. Brooke Bennett, played by Lacey, goes to Ireland for Christmas to search for her Irish roots. While there, she meets Aidan Hart, played by Stuart. Mistaken for an elite event planner, she's hired to host his castle's epic Christmas party. Paul Campbell gets a writing credit on this movie. Is that a bonus? Who knows? Anyway, Shannon, why do you like Christmas at Castle Hart for number 8?
All right, this is another one that I didn't like the first time I saw it, and then I rewatched it and I had so much fun. It's Ireland, it's Christmas. I think that Kate O'Toole as the Duchess was just fantastic. I loved every scene that she was in. I didn't believe that those two were sisters, but you know, hey, they pulled off a great gala in 12 days. So, you know, it's fantastic. Basically, it's, you know, I think Aidan coming back and being just, you know, everyone was so frustrated with him. Everyone was angry at him and he just felt bad. It wasn't like the typical Earl showing up and, you know, I'm the royalty here. I just thought it was good. I liked it.
It gave us nothing if not Duchess's royal cat.
That's right.
So thank you, Daniel Pandolf. Emily,
She's a liar and a liar and a liar and a liar. She is a horrible person in this movie. The CGI on these trees, the
Oh,
only
that was bad.
quality that it has on this movie is the fact that it was set place in Ireland. This movie should not be on this list. However, I have nothing I can't do anything about it.
You
And
cannot.
knowing that Shannon also could play this at what it was, she has like what, number 4? Hell no. But I have no other options. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the CGI was crazy bad on the horses, on the snow, on everything. It was
This was
bad.
number 32 on my list. I'm thrilled.
Kathryn.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Shannon. This is number 29 out of 32. I wrote one word next to like this movie, and it is veto.
Mine was hell
Sorry.
no.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. This is a bad movie. And please
Okay.
bring it back later. I'm sorry.
Please don't bring it.
Shannon, I will defriend you if it goes any further.
You know, this game is designed to, crush your dreams and ruin friendships. And I think this game is actually bringing that to fruition. Shannon, I love you dearly. I'm so sorry.
I don't think Shannon's ever going to be saying yes to a podcast of this ever again, Lynn.
She will. She
Yeah,
does.
the Palaha podcast was
It was pleasant.
lolly. We all loved each other. It was so easy.
Yeah, she's
The
just
only
like-
veto was the Dater's Handbook, and that was not because of the movie.
I think Shannon's actually already signed up for one in 2024 because the 2024 thing is already fully scheduled and staffed. But Shannon, hang in there, Shannon.
Mary's comments are on this because I feel like we haven't even gotten to her. Mary, how do you feel about this movie? I'm sorry, Lynn.
Mary, what did you think of this movie? It's not coming back. We know that.
This
Don't
movie
we?
is terrible. It is terrible. I hated this movie. He looks like he could be her father. He's so old. I looked it up. It's only a 10-year age difference, but she looks like a child and he looks like an old man. And it was boring and she was a liar and I hated it.
It's bad. They had incompatible head sizes too. That really bugs me for the kiss. Emily, I know you get it. Okay, they're all dying at that comment.
But okay,
It's
Emily
true.
was so right too. Like Ireland's like the only redeeming factor, and it was all CGI to Ireland. It was
It
so
was
bad.
just
So it doesn't even
bad.
count.
Yeah.
No.
And I hate to bring this up too, but there's no way in hell a week before Christmas, all of a sudden you decide, oh, I'm going to fly to Ireland for 2 tickets and get a flight a week before Christmas when you don't have a freaking job.
All right. I have Shannon. I feel like I keep saying I have. Sorry, Shannon.
And do you want me to go for you?
I should have maybe I should fold that into the game. Like you can tap out and have a substitute picker or something.
I'm having a ball.
I have Shannon's pick for number 8. It is a movie from 2023, y'all. 2023. Will Kemp plays Sebastian Moore. It is The Dancing Detective, Deadly Tango. They've got killer moves. Constance Bailey is a no-nonsense detective who prefers to work alone. When a high-profile CEO is murdered on the eve of his company's corporate event in Malta, a high-stakes ballroom competition between senior executives, Detective Bailey is sent undercover as one of the contestants. The only problem, she can't dance. To convincingly compete, she must team up with charismatic and free-spirited performer Sebastian Moore, that's Will Kemp. But with a killer on the loose and a growing list of suspects, it's going to take more than a little fancy footwork to solve the case. So this film was filmed on location in Malta, and fun fact, I noticed that the red sports car convertible that Will Kemp drives in the movie looks almost exactly like the one he drives in Royal Matchmaker, where he plays Prince Whatever and his co-star is Bethany Joy Lenz. I actually did a screenshot of them both side by side. So Shannon, tell us about The Dancing Detective, Deadly Tango, and why you like this at number 8.
So many good things about this movie. First and foremost, we're filmed on Malta, where the site of Popeye, it's just phenomenal to know that that was filmed right there. Will Kemp dancing in his white shirt in the water. am referring to Lacey as my lady wife. They're Stuart and Sally. They nods to all of my favorite detective shows of the 70s. Lacey kissing her pillow. It's just, the whole idea that this company has this required dance competition for a team building activity. They have, the Martin Short lookalike. How can you not love this movie? It's got everything.
It's got everything. How can you not love this movie? Emily, how can you not love this movie?
Finally, Shannon, finally. Finally. Dear Lord, it took us too long to get here. This is one of Lacey's best chemistry movies I think she's had with her co-star. This was her second movie. No, third movie with Will, I think.
Third, I think.
Yeah. I love this movie the moment that it came out in June, which was just last month, but it seems so long ago. It's fun. Yes, the plot line is bonkers new, but it's a lot of fun. That dancing scene in the water, chef's kiss. Yes, let's proceed. I'm great with this.
You are okay. Emily is great with this. Kate, are you great with this?
I am
Is it
also
great,
great
Kate?
with this, yeah.
You're great with this. Yay.
I think the setting alone, this
Hallelujah.
is like, it makes, like, as bad as the Ireland looked in the other movie, which it's hard to make Ireland look bad. Like, Malta looks amazing in this movie. And Will Kemp is so good in this movie. I loved all his, when he was doing the accents, which, like, it has to have been a nod to his holiday movie. And yeah, I don't care about the mystery at all, but yeah, the fountain scene is pretty cool. So yeah, I like this one on the list.
Awesome. Mary, you have a veto. You're going to veto this. Is it going to stay at number 8? Are you letting Shannon go free?
Off the hook.
No, I think this is a great pick.
Fabulous. We have locked in the Dancing Detective Deadly Tango at number 8. I'm just going to share this with you guys. Do you see all the scratch marks on Shannon's face? Kate, it's up to you to send me for number 7. I'm going to do a quick recap. At 15, it's Pride, Prejudice, and Mistletoe. At 14, Elevator Girl. 13, The Color of Rain. 12, My Secret Valentine. 11, A Royal Christmas. 10, All of My Heart, The Weekend. 9, Matchmaker Santa. And at 8, The Dancing Detective, Deadly Tango. And at number 7, Kate is offering up a movie from 2017. Jesse Moss plays Nate. Carlo Marx plays Derek. It's Moonlight in Vermont. After fast-paced New York City high-end real estate broker Fiona, that's Lacey, gets dumped by her boyfriend Nate, she escapes to her family's quaint Vermont inn for a few days to slow down and reevaluate her life. When her ex-boyfriend Nate shows up at the inn with a brand new girlfriend, Haley, she quickly devises a plan to win him back by pretending that the handsome and very laid-back head chef, Derek, that's Carlo Marx, is her new boyfriend. Tell us why you like Moonlight in Vermont at number 7.
So this one is just like, it's tropey. Like, you got the big city workaholic goes to the small town. You've got the enemies to lovers and fake relationship, like, all together. But it like fits together into this like perfect little Hallmark movie. And I think all those tropes are the tropes for a reason, but they're also like Hallmarky for a reason. And this is like the perfect mix of all of them. It's very rewatchable. I love the slow dance to Moonlight in Vermont near the end. I think Fiona Vroom is always great. She's good as Lacey's best friend. And I know the double deckers are kind of split on Carlo Marx, but I think he's really good at finding a way to create like a new character for every movie he plays. He's not one of these ones that seems the same in every movie to me. And I think they have some good banter and great chemistry in this movie.
Well said. Emily, you only have a veto override, so you can't veto this, but what do you think about Moonlight in Vermont? Do you have any thoughts you want to share?
Okay movie for me, but just because of all the tropes. I think Carlo Marx, this is actually one of his best performances because he is so quirky. For me, for Lacey, it's one of the standard movies. The fact that they're trying to start a new relationship, fake relationship within like 2-3 weeks of them breaking up, and also who doesn't like maple syrup, so I'm good with it.
Who doesn't like maple syrup? Mary, do you like maple syrup? Do you like this movie? You have a veto.
Yes, no, and yes, I do have a veto. I'm not going to veto this movie. I think it's just middle of the road, boring, kind of like Carlo Marx, but I don't feel strongly enough about it to veto it. And I'm nervous of what could come back later based on the fact that both the Safari and the Castle movie were played. I don't trust anybody.
That's really just an unwritten rule. Okay, so this is locked in at number 7 because Shannon only has a veto override. Is there anything you want to share about this before we move
Totally
on
would
to
have vetoed
6?
this one. Absolutely. I can't stand this movie.
Shannon wishing she could get her revenge. While Emily sends me her pick for number 6. Scott, did you happen to see Moonlight in Vermont? Did you used to live in New England? Am I getting this?
I did
That's what
live
I-
in New England for
Yeah,
21 years. No, I never saw the movie, but I like the title. I'm a huge fan of 50s jazz, and so many great versions were recorded in the 50s. So I don't know. I would say I would tune it in, but I heard some really negative things from the panel here, so I would probably pass on it.
You should at least watch the Dance to Moonlight in Vermont.
Okay,
Definitely
you know what?
that.
That's fair. I would tune in to the very end just to see.
Definitely
There's a maple syrup tasting scene as well. So yeah, I think you would like it. It's charming. Your wife would like it if nothing else.
Okay. Well, I'm diabetic, so I can't do the maple syrup thing anymore. And that kind of
Well,
grinds my gears.
All right, I have Emily's pick for number 6. It is a movie that we have played before earlier on. It's a movie from 2020. It's Winter in Vale. Emily, why do you like Winter in Vale now at number 6? We tried it off at number 10 when I think Kate played it.
Kate did play in as she is pouring herself some more wine. Actually, that's really good wine, by the way. I've had that. I've been to their vineyard. A+. It's Vale. It's nice. The scenery. I really like the story at the end that involves all of her uncles stargazing and all that. Tyler's great. Tyler makes one of my funniest lines ever when Lacey brings up the Strudel Fest idea, and Lacey's idea was great. And when they do the baking scene, see, now I sound like Brian Harold. When they do the baking scene, it's great. And I just thought it deserves do a little bit better. Lacey learns to relax a little bit more in her normal lifestyle and tries to, she quits on her own. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yep.
Oh, and wait, I have to mention the hot chocolate bombs. Yes.
Perfect.
Yes, please sign me up.
They're perfect. I actually do a lot of baking. I've written a couple of cookbooks, and they did that baking scene proud where they are stretching that dough and you have to be able to look through it and it gets super, super, super long. It's one of my favorite baking scenes because it's so true to form.
It is. And
Good job.
actually, I would kick myself if I completely forgot about this until you mentioned it. So I've actually been hired as a strudel maker in Austria. When I was in Austria, I went to Vienna to the palace and I tried making the strudel, and we had to stretch it and read it through. And shocker, it's gonna come a shock to you. I was the one with the smart ass in the comment making, oh, you put rum raisins in it, X, Y, and Z. So they did hire me. So I might eventually go to Austria to live in that castle and meet my future prince.
Emily, we want this for you,
Yes.
but I think your husband
Yeah.
might object.
I know.
This is great. Okay, Winter in Vale at number 6. That leads us to Kathryn, who still has a veto. Kate, are you going to let it slide? Are you going to keep it here?
Yep, not vetoing. I like this one. I played it a few places ago, so I'm happy it's on the list.
Okay, Mary, what about you? You still have a veto? What do you think? Winter in Vale at number 6.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I had it lower on the list, but it was
You're
good.
good?
Yeah.
She's good. Okay, so Winter in Vale is locked in at number 6. Shannon, do you have any thoughts on Winter in Vale? You only have a veto override, so
Well,
This
everybody
one's
said everything about this movie. It's so good. The only thing that wasn't mentioned is I love a good under the sink spray in the face, and this is the best one out of all the movies with Tyler, and it's off, 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 off. It's perfect.
It's a great movie. Good job, everybody. That's locked in at number 6. So Mary, it's up to you to send me your pick for number 5. Guys, we are in the top third now.
I'm
We're in the-
scared.
We're in the top third. Shannon has a veto override. Kate has 1 veto left. Emily has a veto override, and Mary has 1 veto left. So let's see how the rest of this list is going to play out, the battle of top 5. I have Mary's pick, and she has chosen a movie from 2020. It is Abracadabra. It's the 3rd in the crossword mystery series that co-stars Brennan Elliott as Logan O'Connor. In IMDb, in some places he's listed as detective, in other places he's listed as lieutenant. Who knows? He's just Logan O'Connor. So this is the 3rd in the series, and this one is when a magic act turns out to be murder. Crossword puzzle editor Tess Harper, that's Lacey, is on the case to find the real killer along with Logan, Brennan Elliott. So Mary, tell us why you like Abracadabra at number 5.
Okay. Well, I told you that I have come around on Brennan Elliott.
I'm
And-
shocked that you have played this movie based on
I know.
your chatter in the chat, in the panel chat.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it myself, but it's happening. I really like them together. And I would have preferred that we play the first All of My Heart, but instead we did the second 2. So like I said earlier, like there, I guess where there's no rules. So I am picking, so I feel like the 5 crossword mysteries are pretty equal. There was one that I didn't love as much, but they're pretty equal to me. I like how creative they are in finding ways for a crossword puzzle editor to be involved with murder mysteries. Like that girl needs some therapy because she finds so many dead bodies. And I'm going to be real honest. I went with the one that had the best pun in the title because Abracadabra is clever. But like, I like this movie and we're already on number 5. I don't know how we got here. It has taken both 10 years and 10 seconds. We gotta, I feel like we need to have at least one of these movies on the list. So
Oh my God. I think I'm going to steal that as the tagline for this episode. It took us 10 years and 10 seconds. And you can either make that a both and or an either or.
I mean, we've been doing this for a very, very long time, but all of a sudden we're very high up in the list and so many of my picks are not on it.
We are.
So-
It is still Sunday. I want to reassure everyone that it's still
Not for much
Sunday.
longer.
Emily, you are up in the veto order. You only have a veto override, but do you have thoughts on this that you want to share?
I do. I agree with Mary though. It's like it's 10 years too long, and also 10 seconds has gone by. I feel like this was all of our airport woes of the past week. Yeah. So I like the crossword mysteries here. This wouldn't be my top choice of the 5. But I do think it deserved to be one of them deserved to be somewhere on the list. So it's fine. Obviously it's fine by me. But yes, that pun is good.
Good pun.
Mike tries to catch a bullet in his teeth. So, you know,
There's a lot to love in this movie. Kate, you do have a veto left. What do you think of Abracadabra at number 5?
Yeah, I also agree that a crossword mystery should be on the list. This isn't my favorite one, but I'm not going to veto it. I think the Abracadabra thing, like, do you think they came up with the title of the movie before they wrote the script, like for this one?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And then
Absolutely.
I wrote like, it's just another like typical Hallmark mystery and you're just waiting for these two to hook up already. So that's how I feel about this one.
I don't think they ever kiss in this
They
series.
do at the
though.
very, very
No.
end.
They
not
do.
until the last scene of the whole entire
Yeah.
series. do
I
they,
say
like,
the last scene
yeah.
of the last movie.
The last one. Okay. Yeah. Shannon, you can close this out. This is staying at number 5 because you just have a veto override, but do you have thoughts that you would like to share?
Yeah, this was my favorite of the 5, and I'm glad they got rid of his shellacked hair. It's good. It was fine. I thought it was a great story. The guy wasn't really dead. It's perfect.
It is. Yeah, I had made a comment in the panel chat about Brennan Elliott always being like shellacked in these movies with his hair, when in the Lunch with the Boys that he did, for the Double Decker group, his hair is just so beautiful and natural on its own, and it's always good to see that. So he has a good vibe. So Shannon, you are going to send me your pick for number 4. This is your final pick in the game. Can you believe it, guys? We are almost done.
Everyone's sighing. Thank God. She's the last one.
I
I have such hope for this one, but I don't know. Okay.
Hey, Shannon, whatever you think about doing, do the opposite.
Oh my gosh. Scott, have you seen any of the crossword puzzle mysteries at all? Do you like puzzles? Do you like mysteries?
This is one of those haven't seen, won't see kind of things. These do not look interesting to me at all. And there's no Christmas
Lacey
in
is
it.
super awesome in these, though.
Well,
so
yeah, that's great, but it doesn't carry
like
it for me.
I have Shannon's pick for number 4. She has offered up a movie from 2022. It co-stars Hector Rivera. She plays Emma, a chef who travels to Hawaii, and she meets Ben, a surf instructor whose lessons help her to regain her footing on the heels of a personal and professional setback. It is Groundswell, aka Surfer Lacey Girl. Shannon, why do you like Groundswell at number 4?
Y'all just have to love this movie. You've got to. You just have to. It's the two of them together. Oh my. Woo! And brother Frankie, he's just so great to watch. And the scenery. I can't even get words out with this one. I love it so much. And when he knocks the picture frame over and he finds the note from his wife, and he just, you guys, you just have to love it. I can't even, there.
Shannon has tried to sell this movie with all her heart. The facial expressions were kind of sort of buying it, except for one person who just has such a poker face. I never, ever, ever want to play you in poker, Mary.
I'm gonna have to get on a plane. If somebody doesn't like this, I have to get on a plane. It's just my heart. Oh,
Emily, you're first up in the veto order. You only have a veto override, so you can't veto this. What do you have any quick thoughts you want to share on Groundswell?
Yeah, I do. So this is actually based off of a book that Katie Lee wrote, and I read the book a few years ago before the movie came out. And Katie Lee is bad in this movie as an actress, just saying that. She is one of the judges. But however, Hector, or however you say his name, yes, Shannon, on board with that. I love the premise of her going and finding herself. I was in Hawaii for the first time in May, and when I got back home, I purposely rewatched this movie in preparation for this, and it made me love Hawaii even more. This was on my list, but it wasn't up as high, so I fully support this. Awesome. And I love the idea of them swapping the restaurants. Is it like technically like a logistical nightmare? Yes, but I'm here for it.
My husband and I are going to Kauai in September for our anniversary for the first time. So I'm looking forward to going to Hawaii, and I plan on rewatching this movie. So good tip, Emily. Thanks. So Kate, you still have a veto left. What do you think of Groundswell at number 4?
Okay, well, Shannon, you and I are back on track with liking movies because I love this movie. I was actually going to play it at 3, but since you played it at 4, I'll go ahead and leave it here. You can't beat the Hawaiian setting. I love how Aunt June always has a tropical cocktail in her hand throughout the entire movie. I love when her and Ben have a conversation about everyone's a secret Christmas movie fan. That's like, it's so meta and perfect. And then, okay, so some people call needle drops manipulative. So when you play a song just to like get a reaction out of people. But when they play that Avril Lavigne ballad, when she finally stands up on the surfboard, I totally was in for it. And I don't care if I was manipulated at all. It was great. And Hector Rivera is unbelievably good looking and also a great dramatic actor. So I love this movie. I'm glad it's this high on the list.
Yeah, he's been in some good things. Mary, you are the only person left who might be able to crush Shannon's dreams and break her heart because you have a veto. What do you think of Groundswell at number 4?
Okay, so I had this on my list. I had it quite a bit lower. But I'm not going to veto it. I will say I think there are a lot of really good parts of this movie, and it just needed to bake a little longer. Like I don't know if the script needed a rewrite, if they needed like 5 more days of filming and editing. Like I didn't feel like it quite went together. Like I don't love it, but I do really like so many parts of this movie that I'm fine with it being this high on the list, even though it was lower on mine. So good to go.
Shannon, congratulations. Way to go. And you're done.
And I'm done.
You're done. Okay. Well, Kate gets ready to send me her pick for number 3. Scott, based on this description, would you be interested in seeing Surfer Lacey?
I have seen this movie.
What?
It keeps showing up in my house because my daughter's name is Emma, and she loves that the character's name is Emma. I'm glad Kathryn pointed out that Hector Rivera looked really good in here. He is ripped beyond ripped. And let me just couch my language and be polite. I'll take Wetsuit Lacey all day long, every day. She is gorgeous. This movie is filled with beautiful people, beautiful scenery. It's a good movie. Well, it's a movie that I could have on the TV and I could watch it.
Awesome. Even though there's no Christmas in it.
No Christmas whatsoever. And I don't like hot weather. So Hawaii doesn't really do a lot for me.
I have Kate's pick for number 3. This is Kate's final pick for the list. She has chosen a movie from 2015. It is with Brennan Elliott, of course. This is All of My Heart. It's the very first one in the 3-part series. So this one is a young caterer's life suddenly changes course when she inherits a country home and learns she must share it with a career-obsessed Wall Street trader. At first, these opposites do not attract, but feelings begin to change when they find themselves having to work side by side to restore their newly acquired home. Ed Asner is featured in this as Vern, and Hall star Grayston Holt plays Daryl. And of course, there's goats. So, Kate, tell us about All of My Heart and the original and why you like it at number 3.
So I have this at number 2, but I just want to make sure it like ends up at the top of the list here. And this is the highest place I have. So I think the 2 of them are amazing in this movie. Their chemistry is great. The mid-movie kiss is really romantic in this one, in the storm in the middle of the night. I love how excited he is when he finds out that she's not really engaged. I love how she says yes to his proposal before he even asks. I think it's a completely saccharine and schmaltzy Hallmark movie, and I'm totally here for it.
Emily, you only have a veto override, so you can't influence this pick, but what are your thoughts on it?
If you were to look at my list at number 3, it would say All of My Heart.
Perfect.
Like I said, told you earlier when I played the second one, I adore this series. I love this movie. I am absolutely thrilled that it's in the top 3.
Mary, you still have a veto left. What do you think of All of My Heart at number 3? You came around to Brennan Elliott, so.
Well, I'm really torn because I really did like this movie. This is what turned me around on Brennan Elliott. But I do not think we should have 2 movies from the same series in this list. So I'd like to go back to number 10 and veto that, but that's not an option. I understand how the game is played. But Emily is the reason we have A Royal Christmas so far down the list. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna let it ride only because I don't have something else that I want here, but I just want the record to reflect my protest of 2 movies from the same series in the same list.
Would you rather I put the wedding veil on that number 3? Just for the
Yeah,
bright.
like I said, there's nothing else I want here, so we're good to go.
So Mary
No
says,
need to be violent.
Mary is choosing love, not chaos, for number 3. Shannon, that brings us to you. You just have a veto override, but do you have thoughts? This is definitely locked in at number 2. So
That was really smart of Mary to
I'm
not
sorry, number 3.
because I would have had to use the override on that one. The only thing I have left. We've got Ed Asner, we've got Daniel Cudmore. Why is Tommy not in more Hallmark movies? I love him. I think he should be in more Hallmark movies. Grayston Hole is just wonderful. And of course, there's another under sink face spray. So yeah, absolutely has to be there.
All right, let me do a quick recap before we get to Emily's pick for number 2. We have at 15, Pride, Prejudice, and Mistletoe. At 14, Elevator Girl. 13, The Color of Rain. 12, My Secret Valentine. 11, A Royal Christmas. 10, All of My Heart, The Wedding. That's the 3rd in the series. At 9, Matchmaker Santa. At 8, The Dancing Detective, Deadly Tango. At 7, Moonlight in Vermont. At 6, Winter in Vale. At 5, The Crossword Mysteries, Abracadabra. That's number 3 in the series. At 4, there's Groundswell. At 3 is All of My Heart. And at number 2, Emily is going to send me something.
I don't want to play one because I think I know what one is going to be for everyone else. And now we're going to my list at number 5 and 6 because my other ones are chosen.
I'm shocked at some of the movies that have not been played, but we will get to that shortly.
And I think this is what I want to do. And if someone overrides me, trust me, it's going to be worse than this.
I love it when picks are prefaced by threats.
And there we go, Lynn.
Wow. Did not see that coming. Emily has offered up at number 2, a movie from 2019. Brittany Bristow is in it. Will Kemp is in it. It's love, romance, and
Oh my
chocolate.
God. Ugh. I knew this would happen.
Shannon is losing it. I think Kate might be happy. Who knows? This was filmed on.
Tell me how you really feel.
This was filmed on location in Belgium. Emma and chocolatier Luc compete for Belgium's Royal Chocolatier. The beauty and romance of Rouge is inspired this unique chocolate combination that they're working on. But will their entry win without them losing their hearts? This movie came in number 7 in the best 7 films filmed on location draft. That was the second show for Hallmark Movie Drafts back in 2022. Kate was one of the drafters, along with Tracy. Why? Love, romance, and chocolate.
Okay, here we go, folks. So like I said, if this gets vetoed, something way worse is going to come into this because I think we all have the same number 1. But it's Belgium. I've been there. I've been to Bruges. It's on scene. They're making chocolate. Yes, I want to make some chocolate with Will Kemp. Lacey is a gem on this. She gets dumped and she goes, I'm still going to go on the trip. Solo trip. Great. Wonderful. I love solo trips. That's where we are. Bert Bristow's in it. Fantastic. I just want to eat all the petit fours and somehow, make it to another castle of some sort, palace, like Lacey does. And there we have love, romance, and chocolate. Other than also the other guy who does play the other chocolate shop owner. He is a bad apple. I don't like him. There we go.
Number 2, love, romance, and chocolate. Kate, you are next in the veto order. You do have a veto left. What do you think about love, romance, and chocolate at number 2 on this singular definitive list of Lacey Chabert Hallmark movies?
Okay, so Tracy played this at number 7 on the Filmed on Location draft. And as I later found out, she played it because she was trying to pull my veto at the very beginning of the game. But what she quickly found out is that I don't hate this movie. And I actually like this movie. It's number 16 for me. It didn't make my top 15. But what I will say about why I don't mind it at number 2, even though I don't think it's number 2 material, is that Lacey has probably done more of the like filmed on location movies than anyone else. So if we're making a representative list of Lacey's best movies, I can completely understand one of her movies that's filmed on location being in the top 5. So here we are. I mean, Groundswell is, but that's within the United States. So that didn't count for our filmed on location draft. So I'm fine with it. I'm not vetoing this.
Hey, Kate is fine with Love, Romance, and Chocolate at number 2. That brings us to Mary. You are the only other person who can veto this. What do you say about Love, Romance, and Chocolate as number 2?
It's not number 2. A Royal Christmas is number 2.
Y'all had your chance.
There's a movie that I thought really deserved to be on the list that is not. But I don't know. I mean, I don't think that that's next up on Emily's list. So I don't think she's going to pick something better because she said she wasn't going to. So I'm going to let it go.
Okay, so we have Love, Romance, and Chocolate at number 2. Shannon, do you have thoughts on this? You have a veto override. You can't
Oh, do I have thoughts?
Here's the thing though, if my first pick goes to 2, who knows what the hell could be in number 1 then?
Yeah,
Ugh.
exactly.
The thing, I've been in the same position and drafting number 2, and I know how this is all gonna go.
Yes. Shannon, did you want to say anything about this at number
No,
2?
I'll cry. I'll just start crying. It's no, nothing.
Just no, nothing. Oh, Shannon, you've been such a trooper. Okay, Mary, what are you going to offer up for number 1? I'm going to do a quick recap. We have Pride, Prejudice, and Mistletoe at 15, Elevator Girl at 14, The Color of Rain at 13, My Secret Valentine at 12, A Royal Christmas at 11. At 10, All of My Heart, The Wedding. At 9, Matchmaker Santa. At 8, The Dancing Detective, Deadly Tango. At 7, Moonlight in Vermont. At 6, Winter in Vale. At 5, The Crossword Mysteries, Abracadabra. At 4, Groundswell. At 3, All of My Heart. At 2, Love, Romance, and Chocolate. And at number 1, Mary has offered up. I am going to read it exactly as she sent it to me. Haul out the holly. Duh.
Even I knew that one.
Everyone is cheering. Haul out the holly. All right. Well, as if it
Christmas is saved.
Christmas is saved. 2022. Wes Brown is Jared. Great ensemble cast. Ellen Travolta, Peter Jacobson, Melissa Peterson, Stephen Tobolowsky. There's cameos, not camels, cameos by Pawaha and Eric Mobius. Lacey plays Emily, who arrives home during the Christmas season, hoping to visit her parents, only to discover that they're leaving on a trip of their own. As she stays at their house for the holidays, their HOA is determined to get Emily to participate in the neighborhood's many Christmas festivities. Wes Brown plays Jared, her childhood friend, who is now head of enforcing the HOA rules about all things Christmas decor related. Why this at number 1, as if it needs any explanation? Mary.
I am not. So when the guys do their ranking episodes, they have a category that says like a real movie or something like that.
Real movie.
And I don't actually think that I find it very uncommon for a Hallmark movie to fall into that category. But if one is going to, this is pretty darn close. It is funny. It was surprisingly funny. I felt like Lacey's acting was more natural feeling than it is in a lot of these movies. Wes Brown. Yeah. Yeah.
Glasses? Yeah.
I mean, what are we gonna say? And then all the cameos, the guest stars are, it's really good. It's really funny. I'm very nervous about there being a sequel because could it possibly be as good? I don't know. But yeah, I like this. I can't believe that Scott didn't get that it was supposed to be funny. I feel sad for your first viewing, Scott. I'm glad that you've come around.
I watched it a second time. I got it the second time after people pointed it out to me. I just, I don't have any frame of reference to know
Right.
that being tongue in cheek is a thing with these movies. So I was
Yeah.
surprised. I liked how funny it was. My goodness. And I've been married for 16 years. And one of the things that somebody told me along the way was that, make sure you marry someone you really love because looks will fade. I mean, I'm living proof of that. But she's funny and she's got great timing. And I would probably swap this for number 2 under the Royal Christmas one, but this whole day has been redeemed here after some of the stuff we slogged through.
Are you looking forward to watching the sequel, Scott, and
Yeah.
and doing the review?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree that it might not live up to the first one, but I'm willing to let that go. It's going to be funny. The plot will probably be paper thin again on this, but I don't care. I like things that are funny, and I don't know if funny Hallmark movies are just some kind of recent phenomenon, but there have been a handful of movies that are funnier than maybe stuff at 2015 or stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I would say do more of this. Do more of this all day long.
Yeah. So just to make it official, Emily, what are your thoughts on Haul Out the Holly? You have a veto override.
It's been number one when as soon as you said, hey, do you want to join this draft? I'm like, yep, number one. Holly rewatched it again this morning as it was on last night. The ensemble cast on this is just terrific. Absolutely terrific. The cameos are great. There's so many funny one-liners. The comedic performance between Lacey and Wes is fantastic. I think this turned the page in Lacey. I think she's going to open up a whole bunch more of different quick-witted timiness movies. I mean, she even had some of that wit in The Dancing Detective earlier this year too. So the ending when she writes him a citation to kiss him, love it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Kate, was this your number one? What do you
Yes,
think of this
This was
movie?
number one. Yes, I knew this was going to be number one, and it was my number one. I rewatched it last night when they replayed it. Like Hallmark knows what they have here. Like
Oh, yeah.
they made it like their big centerpiece of Christmas in July, and they premiered the clip, and I think it's going to be good just from that little clip, and I find it promising, and I'm also just so curious who is playing the new people that are going to live in that house. They probably could have had their pick of the litter of Hall stars to do
Oh,
this
yeah.
movie. So
For
I'm
sure.
waiting on pins and needles to see who that's going to be. But
John Travolta.
yeah, wouldn't that be amazing?
Oh, with his sister Ellen, right? That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Wes Brown's performance is so good in this. Just rewatching it last night, that's the thing that really stood out to me. And I was going to ask you guys, I know he was nominated for a Ducky. Did he win? I don't remember who won this year.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and watch it. But anyway, so yeah, it's just the perfect mix of sweet Hallmark Christmas cheer and camp, and it was amazing.
Shannon, finally to you.
Absolutely. Been my number one the whole time. I mean, something else that wasn't mentioned is finally, having someone in a Hallmark movie sitting down and watching a Hallmark movie, and to have her go, oh, I love this guy. When she's watching her Brennan Elliott movie. It was
Elliot's movie too.
so great. Yeah, it was so great.
It was great. It was great chemistry. You guys, before I read the list for a final time, why don't we go around and just quickly read through what our top 15s were, because this draft was crazy. So I'm going to start in the veto order. Emily, tell us what your 15 were.
Y'all, you better buckle up for a wild ride here. Starting at 15, we have My Secret Valentine, the pilot for Crosswords Mysteries,
Groundswell, All of My Heart, Pride, Prejudice, and Mistletoe, Elevator Girl, The Color of Rain, Love on Safari. At number 8, A Royal Christmas at 7, Sweet
Oh,
Carolina, Love and Romance, Chocolate, Winter Veil, All My Heart, Dancing Detective, Fall Out the Holly.
Wow. Okay. Kathryn, what did you have?
Very upset about that, Lynn.
I'm still surprised at some movies that have not been mentioned. Kathryn, what's your list say? Just run through it.
I know there's one on mine that you're gonna like, Lynn. So just be ready for that. But number 15, I actually put The Wedding Veil because I had a feeling it might come up. I just thought that their meet cute was good. Everything else sucks, but their meet cute and their little how they met each other was good and they had good chemistry. So I had a feeling we might talk about it. Anyway, so I'll go quickly through the rest. 14, I had Deadly Tango. 13 for Lynn, Christmas in Rome. 12, Elevator Girl. 11, The Color of Rain. 10, All of My Heart, The Wedding. 9, The Crossword Mystery Pilot. 8, Winter and Veil. 7, Pride, Prejudice, and Mistletoe. 6, Time for Us to Come Home for Christmas. 5, Moonlight in Vermont. 4, My Secret Valentine. 3, Groundswell. 2, All of My Heart. And number 1 is Fall Out the Holly.
Good list. Mary, you are next. What does your list say?
Okay. I don't necessarily stand by all of these after our many hours of discussion,
That's just read it.
but that's okay. Mostly. Okay. From
You're no
15,
Shannon W. Okay.
Okay. Elevator Girl, then Groundswell, Winter and Veil, My Secret Valentine, Pride, Prejudice, and Mistletoe, Matchmaker Santa, A Wish for Christmas, Sweetest Christmas, Love, what order? Love, Romance, and Chocolate, Crossword Mysteries, then Sweet Carolina, All of My Heart, Dancing Detective, A Royal Christmas, Where It Belongs, and Haul Out the Holly.
Finally, A Wish for Christmas is mentioned and Sweet Carolina is
Carolina,
mentioned. I
yeah.
can't believe they didn't make the list, but no judgment here.
Carolina, though, too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What did you have it as?
6.
6. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I had it at 5.
I have it at
missed
5,
it
yeah.
too, Emily.
Shannon, what do you say? We need to hear this list.
well, I gotta fess up that Love on Safari is not on my list at all.
We're trying to pull a veto and it worked.
Yeah. Okay. So
Okay.
at 15, I have Pride, Prejudice, and Mistletoe. Then The Sweetest Christmas, Time for Us to Come Home for Christmas, everyone's favorite, Christmas at Castle Heart, All of My Heart, The Wedding, All of My Heart, Sweet Carolina, Dancing Detective, My Secret Valentine, A Wish for Christmas, Christmas Waltz, Groundswell, Winter and Veil, A Royal Christmas, and Haul Out the Holly.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear A Christmas Waltz was on your list too.
Love that one.
So before I read the list for the final time, Erinbeth and I also did our personal 15. So Erinbeth, just read your 15 list, please.
15 is Love on Safari, Winter and Veil, Elevator Girl, Christmas Waltz, A Wish for Christmas, Family for Christmas, Crossword Mysteries Terminal Descent, All of My Heart, The Wedding, The Color of Rain, Matchmaker Santa, Dancing Detective, All of My Heart, Sweet Carolina, Where It Belongs, A Royal Christmas, and then Haul Out the Holly.
Good list. Okay, here's mine. A Wish for Christmas, Christmas Waltz, Elevator Girl, Love, Romance, and Chocolate, Time for Us to Come Home for Christmas, All of My Heart, A Puzzle to Die For, that's the pilot, Family for Christmas, Matchmaker Santa, Winter in Veil, Sweet Carolina, The Dancing Detective, Haul Out the Holly, Christmas in Rome, and A Royal Christmas. So great job, everybody. I'm going to read the list for the final time. This is the ultimate list of the 15 best Lacey Chabert Hallmark movies as drafted by Mary, Kathryn, Emily, and Shannon W. Here we go. At 15, Pride, Prejudice, and Mistletoe. 14, Elevator Girl. 13, The Color of Rain. 12, My Secret Valentine. 11, A Royal Christmas. 10, All of My Heart, The Wedding. 9, Matchmaker Santa. 8, The Dancing Detective. 7, Moonlight in Vermont. 6, Winter in Vale. 5, The Crossword Mysteries, Abracadabra. 4, Groundswell. 3, All of My Heart. 2, Love, Romance, and Chocolate. And number 1, Haul Out the Holly. We did it, guys. You did it. This was a massive undertaking. Way to go. And yes, it's still technically Sunday. This was crazy, clocking in at over 3 hours. You guys were phenomenal for hanging in there. Let's all say bye.
Bye.
Hello.
Bye. All out the hallway.
All out the hall.
Hallmark Movie Drafts is produced by me, Lynn Austin, with additional creative and research support from Erinbeth Cermak and Kathryn Baca. This show would not be possible without the dedicated and talented Deck the Hallmark podcast double-deckers who share their passionate opinions on these Hallmark movies that we love, or maybe not love, so much. Intro and outro music is courtesy of Amada Zapana. If you love this pod, please leave a 5-star review. It helps other Hallmark movie fans to find us and join in on the shenanigans. Be sure to follow the show at Hallmark Movie Drafts on Instagram.